All right, cheers. What are we drinking here?
Cheers. All right, so this is, as Christian was saying,
this is the 18 Super Campano Semplice from Tempa di Zoe. This is from Campania, and it's from the Cilento area, which is right below the Amalfi Coast.
Our production assistant is saying to not tap on the table. It's coming up in the mic.
Yeah, it is.
So, our PA is saying.
Got it.
And the bottle. That's okay. We'll edit that later.
So this is. So that's Bruno's Bruno de Conchilis' wine. His sister and his brother-in-law still run de Conchilis Vineyard. That's pretty much a cult favorite in that same area. But he broke off and he started his own vineyard. And this is a monster wine for everybody that wants California wines, that likes everything from like a Ridge to an Orange Swift wine, and you want a crossover wine. This is a monster. This is 15%, but it doesn't taste like, super hot per se. I think it's balanced on the head of a pin. It's fantastic. Big, bold, with a nice mid palate, lots of fruit, great chewy, kind of chocolatey tannins. Super balanced, delicious.
Well, I think we should say, Christian, you're a sommelier.
Guilty as charged.
There you go.
Christian wears a lot of hats.
That's how he knows his stuff. He's not just some guy who likes to drink.
Yeah, we should introduce him. So this is Christian from, how do you want to be labeled as?
Arthur Avenue Food Tours is, our thing. We also run Feast Travel with my wife Danielle Terry, where we bring people to Italy and bring them on custom tours. And just in terms of my professional background, if that helps, I was a sommelier and a wine director for B&B for Battalion Bastianich Hospitality for, I want to say, like 6 years. I worked at Tarry Lodge up in Portchester. I worked at Del Posto on the wine team when that was still around, and I worked at a couple of retail stores, and my last restaurant gig was working at Italy Fidei, where I was the wine director for 2 different restaurants.
Nice.
And as you can imagine, Italian wine is my love and my specialty.
And you said it's Arthur, what is the Little Italy Tours?
It's Arthur Avenue Food Tours.
Food Tours, okay. And that's, you have Instagram, website, how do they book?
Arthur Ave Food Tours. We're on Instagram. We're #1 on Google. We've been doing it since 2012. And my wife's family is from up here. They opened up Baccaleria in Salt Cod store in 1918, and then it turned into a butcher shop after World War II, and they filmed the 55 film Marty there that won Best Picture. So her family goes back, way back in the neighborhood here, and my family came to America. We were talking, Anthony, we have a similar background. My family came to Argentina first after the war from Italy, and then they came here in 72 when things got really bad down there. And my family's been coming up to the neighborhood to shop, since the 70s. It's the first place I ever really felt at home. Growing up in Washington Heights, being the only Italian kid I knew, my friends would roll up to school with like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and like keys around their necks and like, jeans and stuff and skateboards. My mother would wear a fur coat and drag me to school until I was like 13 years old, speaking a stage voice, smoking cigarettes. It was rough,
That's a different Washington Heights. It's not Dominican Washington Heights anymore.
No.
Back then it was a different kind.
It was a little different. I grew up west of Broadway, so it was mostly like Irish, Jewish. I had some Russian kids. Still, I was the only Italian kid I knew. I mean, growing up, I felt like a Martian, But when, we came here to the neighborhood, we saw other people, speaking. If it wasn't the same Italian we spoke at home, it was similar. I could make it out. I saw the food we ate. I saw, other people having the same interactions with their folks. Other people were just as dramatic, it seemed. So for the first time, things made sense. I made sense here. So our friends were always asking us, where do you go for your food? Where do you go for your wine? Where do you go for your prosciutto? Where do you go for mozzarella? So we put out a little travel guide. We put it on Amazon, and literally nobody bought it. Literally nobody. But the Botanical Gardens membership nearby took notice, and they asked us to do kind of this Anthony Bourdain style walking tour of the neighborhood with like tastings and stuff. And we did. And we thought, well, maybe somebody else might like this too. So 11 years later, here we are.
I was gonna ask how long he's been doing. 11 years. All right.
I mean, don't feel bad. We got, I think, 12 subscribers on YouTube. So we're coming from
We're
humble
getting there.
beginnings too.
Well, as soon as Danielle subscribes, it'll be 14.
Okay, we'll get up
the
there.
rest of us. Yeah.
Say it
We'll
one by
make some
one.
fake accounts, little by little. We'll get up to 100 somehow.
Now, it's funny that you say that about the neighborhood, because I started working in this neighborhood. It's like 14, 15 years old. Used to work at the cheese store on the corner
Okay.
with Anthony.
Or Calandras?
Yeah,
My
yes.
first job too.
Yeah. And
wow.
when my father would take me down here, he goes, he used to say, when I first came here, this was like, it reminded me of Italy.
Mhm.
Said people would be on the corner speaking Italian, talking about the soccer game, stuff like that. So I could relate to that. But yeah, I mean, there's no place like it. Not you go down Mulberry Street, it's not.
It's gone, yeah.
It's totally gone. But we're still standing strong here. I
We're the
think.
last hope.
Yeah. Well, it's got to do. You guys know this better than anybody, but it's downtown. They were throwing buckets of money at these guys. That own the buildings. The shopkeepers own the buildings, and then real estate developers would roll up with suitcases filled with cash and say, hey Gino, I want to buy your building for $1. Wink, wink.
Mhm.
I mean, you do the math. You've been working, 30, 40 years, busting your ass.
Yeah.
Your kids are grown up. Your grandkids are in private school. What do you care? Sell. Right?
I hope one of those developers come up here one day and buys a store from me.
God bless.
I could just be a podcaster for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
this is far enough away from public transportation. When Chanelli built this town, when he started it, when he built this neighborhood, when he started it in, I want to say like late 1880s, he had like seclusion in mind. He wanted it to be like this secluded little hill town
Mhm.
away from the city, where the Italians would be left alone, where nobody would bother us. So I guess that's got a lot to do with it now, but it's still, I love the fact that you still have all this Italian food and culture and people just running around still, like this gathering place, like this public square where people still come and people make that pilgrimage every weekend just to shop. I mean, it's a good tradition. I hope it keeps going.
As long as you can earn a living, this will keep going.
That's it.
If things become too unreasonable or too intrusive into how you run your shop and all the regulations you got to meet,
Mm-hmm.
not to sound like a deregulator or anything like that, but it's going to be, the future of the neighborhood hinges on people being able to earn a salary, and for businesses to maintain profitability while maintaining a nice, comfortable quality of life for their workers. If it's really hard for a small business to exist, what's the incentive for anyone to stay doing this? Right? If it's pays better to go work for Amazon, everyone's gonna go work for Amazon at some point. It's gonna be like a idiocracy where we're all out working at Costco saying "I love you."
Yeah.
That's the
Facts.
future. If things become difficult, things become harder and harder to maintain.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people say, "Well, is this shop going to exist in the future? Do your kids want to run it? Do you want your kids to run it?" Some of these stores are 3, 4, or 5 generations.
Yeah. Go
Some
back
of
to
them,
like 1915.
right? Some of them don't have heirs. Right? Some of them don't have kids to take over or family members to take over. So they're for sale. A lot of shops in the neighborhood are for sale right
Oh,
now.
really?
A lot. I don't blame them.
I want to talk to you offline about that. I need that heads up on that.
Yeah,
I need the
tell you.
intel.
I'll tell you a few of them. They're not asking for peanuts. They're asking for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I figured.
Where was I going with that? So that's the future of the neighborhood. As far as anyone else that says what we should be doing different, Fez is telling me I gotta check my
I
volume.
think Fez might be wrong. to
Yeah,
be quite honest.
spot on.
Keep going on yellow.
It's fine, Fez. Don't worry. We'll be all
I
right.
get
Well,
this is
Italian-
passion.
All right, Fez. No, yeah,
We're all getting loud.
yeah. It's gonna get to red soon. Don't worry.
You open up a bottle of wine and you put three Italians in the room, the volume goes up.
Now, I have some questions for you. How does one become a sommelier?
Well, you drink a lot,
Okay.
so that's one thing, right? For me, it was interesting because I started in real estate right out of college. I was working for a developer, and I started my first career was in real estate, and after thanks, Anthony, and after the crash of 2008, I ended up being an independent, and I wound up getting by on unemployment for a little while. And when literally 3 days after my Cobra coverage ran out, I got an appendicitis attack.
In there.
And I ended up in the St.
too.
Luke's Roosevelt Hotel, for lack of a better word. And I was uninsured. So they let, elective after elective after elective surgery go in front of me. And I got septic. So they had to keep me for 3 days.
It's the American health system.
Yeah. And I ended up having to take a night job at Vines on Pine. My friends Frank and Billy and Terry had opened up a wine shop in my old neighborhood in Washington Heights. And they heard I was laid up, and they offered me a job working the register at night just to make extra money and get my mind off my problems. I said, look, I don't know anything about wine at the time. This is like 2010. He says, don't worry, my partner will teach you. So Terry taught me. He sort of took me under his wing, and I liked it. I ended up working there more and more, and it didn't feel like I was working. That was how I knew, I was in the right place. And it all kind of made sense to me. Like different flavors were obvious to me, right? It's like I could pick out like different flavors. And I ended up working there more and more. And from there, I went on to another shop and another one after that. And one of them sent me to Somm School. And I ended up going to the Sommelier Society of America, which is down on 54th, and at the time it was 54th and 5th at the University Club. It's like once a week for like 6 months. And you cram, you have professors there that like teach you for like 3 hours in the morning. You get, classroom instruction, and you learn about stuff geographically, right? You learn about stuff from literally region by region, and it's, you learn about service, you learn about all the aspects of stuff. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was something that I could sink my teeth into. And after 6 months, I got my certificate. They give you, just like you see in that ridiculous documentary Somm, where they have, it's not quite as intense as that, but yeah, it was similar. I had a theory exam with 250 questions. I had a blind tasting of 3 wines, and you had to pick them out. And I had a service component that was written. It wasn't like I had to like sit there and give service in the dining room. That was later on. But right out of Somm School, when I got my certificate, I posted my resume on a job board, and Del Posto called me. I didn't know who the fuck it was. I was like, can I curse on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, don't worry.
So they contacted me, and I'm like, I said, hon, who's some people at a restaurant called Del Posto contacted me? My wife was like, what? Oh, you idiot. So I ended up going there, and I felt like Private Pile in Full Metal Jacket. It was like, imagine you're like a 13-year-old and never got into anything but a slap fight, and they send you to Special Forces. That's what it was. So it was like, I was drowning. Like the PDF that they sent me when they hired me was a 362-page service manual. 362 pages.
That's their own manual.
Their own. So everything from how to walk into a dining room, how to address the guest, how to have your hands when you're standing doing nothing.
I need to write one of those.
No.
You should write one as a joke.
I really need to write one of those.
No.
That's great. I don't know about 360 pages. I think my guys have the fortitude to read 10, maybe 12 pages.
Maybe half that.
I don't know. We'll get past 15, but 362 is pretty intensive.
I can see Fez's face. He's getting
pages.
How many locations do they have?
At the time, well, Del Posto was their flagship restaurant at the time. B&B, back before Mario got busted for playing, being a little too friendly.
I heard some crazy stories.
Now, if you would have told me for years that one of the partners would have gotten busted for being an asshole to the staff, I wouldn't have picked Mario. Everybody loved Mario. Joe was always great to me. I never had a problem with him. He barely spoke 3 words to me in my whole career there. Never had a problem with him. Never had a problem with Lydia. She was awesome. But I saw them rip into people, and I was like, whoa, I'm glad I didn't get on their bad side. But for years, if you told me somebody was going to get screwed, even after they were skimming tips and all that bullshit, I would have thought for sure it wouldn't have been Mario. Everybody loved him, but there you go. I mean, it happens.
Now, do you specialize in like Italian wines, French wines, or you do?
Well, I love them all, you know, and I have background on all this stuff, especially working retail. Like you guys know, you have to have a broad sort of range of experience. But my specialty happens to be Italian wine, just because I worked with it, you know, in the restaurants for so long, and that was our specialty. And my first love, to be honest with you, is French wine. Is, you know, you and I have had these conversations, Anthony.
We don't know nothing about French.
French is
not happy to admit it, but
the thing is, it's where it all starts, right? It's like the classification system in Bordeaux is what the rest of the wine world is kind of loosely based on. And that's the way I was taught. That's the way Terry taught me over at Vines on Pine is, you know, you study France first and it makes the rest of the world make sense. Because that's where most of the wine comes from in terms of their system, like the commercial system, in terms of, you know, the domain and all that system. That's where most people got it from. And, you know, although wine comes from Mesopotamia, I mean, Vitis vinifera does come from Shiraz, is the first and oldest, you know, Vitis
Yellowtail.
vinifera. Almost, yeah. This would be like this would be hummus tail. It's Xerxes' private stock, you know. No, it's old, man. The oldest varietal for a fact is been carbonated to be Shiraz or Syrah. Yellowtail is anything but wine, as we know. That's like concentrate and water.
I read some crazy stat yesterday on Yellowtail.
Yeah.
They were accounting for 80% of the export from Australia.
That's nothing to be proud of. And I was ashamed of McDonald's, but that's foul, bro.
Crazy to think about it. Entire country's export is Yellowtail.
Right on. That's not that's no bueno.
Puts them on the map, but really stains them at the same time.
Yeah, that's not that's no shade on Australia, but Yellowtail is like, I'd rather drink water than Yellowtail. I'd rather, you know.
You get people that come in and ask for Yellowtail and stuff like that.
I'm sure, like Papi, Culitos.
Culitos is the best.
Culitos is great. I mean, nothing screams good taste like an ass on a label. What does this wine taste like? Let's look at the label.
In those people's defense, I shouldn't say those people because they're not any kind.
What do you mean, you people?
You people.
What do you mean those? Come on.
Customers who don't know any better.
There we go.
Or people who don't know any better, because we don't sell Culitos, so they're not our customer. They come again looking for something that a friend told them about. Say, oh, you try this really good wine. And they may say, I don't drink wine. What are you talking about? No, you have to get Culitos. That's the great wine to get. You got to get Culitos. They come in here going, you have Culo? You have Culito? You have that wine?
Last week.
Yeah,
My wife was in a good mood.
Usually we turn around and say, yeah, we got plenty of Culito in the store. But they don't know. Another one is Genesee.
Oh, yeah, the Jeunesse.
They come, you have Genesee? No, we don't have Genesee.
It's a kosher wine, yeah.
Yeah. I always thought about the podcast and should we shit on the inferior brands, the Yellowtail, the Genesee, the Culitos. I think that the Culitos and Genesee is fair game. I think Yellowtail is fair game. I think some of the smaller guys, I kind of feel bad shitting on them because some of the reps that, you know, pay their bills work for those companies, and I kind of feel for them more than I feel for the brand.
Yeah, but like, if I'm gonna taste something and I don't like it, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion.
Right.
I'm
the first to say, don't drink fucking Culito. It's not good stuff. How about you get a nice Bracchetto di Acqui? That's $10, but it's delicious.
Real wine.
Yeah, it's not some adulterated, made up in a laboratory wine.
I tend to lean that way too, Anthony and Curtis. I got to tell you the same thing. I tend to think, you know, I worked in museums of wine. I've literally had wines in my hand that cost more than I would make in a month, right? And I've also drank, and my wife and I are together because I recommended a really good $10 bottle of declassified Bordeaux of a Cru Bourgeois. This is literally $10 on the shelf.
Where did you meet your wife? In the Vines
on Pine?
Oh,
she's
nice.
one of the customers, yeah. So she liked my recommendations. So what I say is this: look, the definition of a good wine, in my opinion, professionally and personally, is whether or not you want another glass of it. Period. Full stop. Now, you can argue about the merits of how it's made. You can argue about whether it's wine in the first place, like a Yellowtail, which I don't think is wine. It's a wine product, right? It's made from concentrate. And even then, you know, you can argue that they extract wine these days. They do all kind of weird fiendish shit to it. But At the end of the day, I shit on what I don't like if I think it's made badly, and if I think it's like cynically marketed to like somebody, if they know it sucks and they push it anyway.
Mhm.
You know, I think a wine is good if it's in balance. I don't care what it costs. I don't care who makes it. I don't care where it's from. My Twitter handle is wine for the 99 because I think wine is for everybody. I don't think it's this ivory tower. I don't think it belongs in a museum per se. I think it's a beverage of the people. And, you know, while I see the merits of making wine in a beautiful way, like this wine we have here, this wine is worth every penny of the $40 that it costs. This is in balance. It's complex. It has, to me, what makes a wine more expensive per se or worth buying is whether or not it's complex. Does it have details? Does it tell a story you want to experience again? And that's what it is. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I shit on most things I don't like. I tend to be very opinionated, as you guys well know. But at the end of the day, that's what makes the conversation fun, right? Is, you know, Mets or Yankees, it's like no contest.
Mets, baby, let's go.
My entire team sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I still love them.
There you go.
Not to get too sidetracked on sports.
Yeah, he don't know shit about
I kind
it.
of
He doesn't know shit about it. That's why.
I kind of shitted on. I hope this doesn't blow back on me. I kind of shitted on Sazerac the last time I went to the big whiskey event in Marriott Whiskey Fest, and wasn't on purpose. I didn't like I mean to set out that day to give them a hard time. Maybe it's my palate has become more sensitive after COVID, and I had a bout of appendicitis too. I really noticed my palate became really sensitive after appendicitis.
Wow, is that right?
I think it's because I had to fast for 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And when I came out of that, my palate kind of returned to what it was pre-COVID. Things I couldn't really smell before were smelling again. I'm not really sure.
So you had a hell of a year, you're saying, between COVID and appendicitis?
COVID fucked my palate up. Whiskeys I loved, I couldn't stomach. It was like burning my whole mouth. It was crazy. But after the appendicitis, things started tasting like 100% again. I could pick out almost everything in a whiskey.
Oh, cool.
But I went to the Whiskey Fest. That was after the appendicitis. And, man, a lot of their stuff really turned me off. And they looked appalled when I was saying, yo, I can't drink this. Like, they would pour it in a cup, I'd sip it, much like a glass of wine. I'd sip it, I'm like, and I'd dump it. They looked like they were going to throw up. Because I'm sure everyone else is so far up their ass, they haven't seen anyone say, yo, this sucks.
Well, Sazerac is mass-produced anyway, right? It's not like anything that's... I mean, it's a decent rye, right? It's a decent whiskey.
Sazerac's the umbrella company.
Right.
Right. And everything else falls underneath them. Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor,
They make a lot of good stuff.
1782, Bowman Brothers.
They're great whiskeys.
Huge brand.
Yeah.
Some of the really coveted stuff is called the Antique Collection. So they have the William LaRue, George C. Stagg,
Which we have.
Sazerac, 18,
Absolutely.
Eagle Rare 17. We're known for all these rare whiskeys.
Wait a minute, you guys have the Eagle Rare 17?
I got 2 bottles. I sold one last week.
How much is it?
$2,000.
God bless. Give me that small business bullshit. $2,000 for a bottle of whiskey. You probably have them for like 10 grand up there too.
We've sold a couple of Macallans in that 10, 20 grand price.
God bless.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the 250,000 Macallans.
But this is why, and this is why it makes sense to let your customers know, like you guys do. Yeah, if you're buying your customer who has, not to go off on a tangent, but if you have a customer that's looking to buy that kind of a collectible whiskey, chances are they have the interest in an equally collectible wine. And that's why I think it's so cool that you guys do have First Growth Bordeaux here. That you do have these interesting red wines, these interesting Italian wines as well that are hard to find. But that's a smart marketing strategy on your part. You know, that's not everybody can make that connection or make that leap. But that's what's cool about you guys is you've always been innovative that way. You've always been open to that. So I'm sorry, I just completely like ran over your story.
No.
Well, to your point,
I like being talked up about.
When people ask like what kind of store we are, I like to say that like we're like a boutique type liquor and wine store. You know, we don't have Georgie, we don't have like this cheap crap.
We used to,
but like
You're out of
evolved.
Georgie?
We evolved. We have like the good, hard to find stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like we're not just selling shit to sell it.
Yeah.
We sell it. We sell the stuff that we like.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's to your point, that's one of the cool things about being a small business is you can do that. You have the freedom to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Vines on Pine being a small store too. We could, bring in the stuff that we liked, and as long as the customers liked it too,
That's all that matters.
It's just such a big amount of stuff available to us in New York.
Yeah.
And you can't do it all. I know these big box stores try to just every SKU they can, or the Total Wines of the world. They want to put every SKU under the sun. That's great and all, but what kind of service are you going to get when you go in there? It's going to be more like a Home Depot.
it is.
Go
It's like
find
the
what you
Home
want.
Depot wine.
It's over there somewhere. Get out of here.
And I do go to Total Wine in Jersey. I have an interesting story about them. I rolled up and I was looking for, I saw on their website they had a couple of wines. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to Bordeaux. And they had a Gruyere Lachine, which is my favorite value Bordeaux, which is a Margaux, but they had the white because, it's hard to find. So I picked up a bottle of the white and a bottle of the red. They said they had 2 of the bottles in stock, 2 or 3, but it was confirmed. And, they're big on, having their orders. So they said the order was ready for pickup. I live in Jersey now, so I just rolled up. I'm there waiting 25 minutes. Dude is like nowhere to be found. It's like I'm at the pickup area. It's like so big. It's like you're in a Home Depot. But you look around and the SKUs are like, they have the big names, but they don't have, and their direct import stuff is good. But you can see that it's like, they're very cynical. They go for that palette of like people that want California stuff or want like those big hit you over the head like Parker flavors. And don't get me started on Parker.
You call it juice bombs, right?
Juice bombs, fruit bombs, things like that. Just big flavors, like, the Parker crowd, where they look at like people that just drink Camus. And there's a reason Camus got so big is because their marketing is enormous. Their machine is great. But, I don't have a smoker's palate, thank God. So, I can still taste stuff. I can still like.
You don't like super heavily oaked Chardonnay?
No, I'd rather drink urine after eating a Snickers bar. I think it would be slightly less offensive, but that's just me.
I'll go with the
You
Chardonnay.
should get someone on the podcast who drinks urine. See what they really think.
Taste test,
Well,
I've been taking my vitamins, so it's not so offensive,
can you? Because I'm not very good at like explaining wine flavors and stuff, and like I'm learning. The more I drink, like every weekend, I try to take home a new bottle.
Yep.
And like can you break down this wine? Like what am I
Happy to.
tasting?
All right, so let's start sight, nose, palate. Is
Okay.
the way we sort of break it down. So
Oh,
the Diciotto 2016 from Tempadizzo. This is 100% Aglianico.
mhm.
And Aglianico, just to backtrack a little bit, is a grape that's the very first sort of carbon dated grape on the Italian peninsula. And the fable is that it was brought over by the Greeks when they settled southern Italy, when they settled what was called Magna Grecia, or New Greece.
Mhm.
And since then, this gentleman's sister, Paola de Conciliis, who now runs de Conciliis Vineyard, actually discovered the real grape that the Greeks brought. They carbon dated, but that's a side story. So this one is, it's a dark, inky, opaque, almost purplish red, like garnet color,
Mhm.
almost indigo. It's like purple in the middle, slight discoloration at the rim. There's no obvious flaws in it, right? You don't see any like sediment in it per se. I think you have a little bit of sediment
Got a
there,
little-
just because it's a little older, so you had a little sediment in the bottle.
You guys might have got the end of the bottle too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Probably
that
got the
was.
ass in. It's all right.
In terms of
I'll
legs,
drink it. I'll be living.
it's got lots of legs, right? You see they're slowly flowing,
Uh-huh.
very wide. That means that suggests a high level of alcohol. And you look at the label, it's 15%.
You want to do another one of the same?
Sure.
Or you want to try,
You want to
try something else?
Let's try something else. Let's switch it up.
Have at it.
All right. Pardon me while I whip this out. Lazy Saddles reference.
Black.
Up to you. You
Sheriff.
pick up
Another
and
Blazing
whatever you like.
Saddles reference. Fezito.
Yeah.
Give me a water.
Oh, it's no waters, Joe.
I got a whole case over here.
It's no waters, Joe.
It's over there. Huh? It's
You
not-
want some of mine?
No, I don't want some of yours. Like how you would say if I offer you, you're like, oh, Don't hit that fucking camera. Don't hit. I'll sit down. Sit down.
Want to go to Tuscany next?
You pick, man. Aim for the fences.
All right. How crazy can I get?
Get crazy. Yeah. That's not crazy. That's good. That's very, very reasonable.
You want me to grab it? I don't know if I can, but that's what she said.
We don't got no decanter. That's okay.
That's all right.
I know wine.
Allow me.
I know Psalms could be a little, let's say, pretentious.
Are you serious? I haven't heard that.
Well, for the liquor guys, I feel the Psalms want to shit on us all the time.
Well, there's a reason there's a hierarchy. It's because, if we create this sense of false stratification, then, we get paid. It's like anything else. It's creating scarcity, and that's scarcity of knowledge. And that's why I didn't want to belong to the court of master sommeliers and go through their little mafia, is because
You don't want to spend $6,000 or $5,000 for the
that
name.
little pin. No, I really have no use for it. And I respect what Fred Dame has done, and I think that Jeff Kruth has, built a good business there, and they have a good educational system, and it makes sense. Like, just from the knowledge that you get is fantastic. But I don't need to buy into somebody else's hierarchy. I have the job that I need, and I think that I'm fairly fit for the job that I have.
I feel like it's like karate belts.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right.
It's like video games and levels.
Right. You can. Well, what I'm referring to is you can go to a crazy karate school and take you years to get your black belt, and then you could go to Bob Lee's fucking karate school around the corner and get your black belt in 3 months.
Tiger Showman?
Yeah, Tiger Showman.
Hey, shout out Wonder Boy. He's a UFC fighter. He's the man, and he's
Tiger Showman graduate.
He's Tiger Showman.
God bless.
He's Tiger
you
Showman.
go.
He's the man. Comes out to Tenacious D, Wonder Boy. He's the man.
That rocks. Yeah, no, it's like the same thing, right? It's like there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but at the end of the day, do I feel like I cheaped out on my education? No, but then again, I'm not the type of person that needs that kind of structure to excel or to study a subject. I was working in the business. You guys are working in the business, so you have resources. You can taste a lot of stuff without having to go through their manual. We can spitball. We can shoot the shit one day, and we'll just talk about stuff, and we pick stuff up from each other. I would never learn the nuances of whiskey that I've learned from you guys from a classroom. You guys have taught me a lot more about whiskey than I've ever even learned in a book. So
I feel like whiskey is really easy for us. I think wine is a little bit harder, although we do know a lot about wine.
you guys have a great collection here.
I feel like some people, I don't know, take to things easier than others.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And it all depends on what interests you, right? I mean, some
Right.
people dig, rock music. Some people dig rap. Some people dig, bachata. It all depends. And some people do it all. It's what you're into, right? So what's the craziest bottle of wine that you guys have sold? Let me give you a rinse or anything. That looks like.
It's no good? No good all this shit in my glass?
It's called, in the industry, boys and girls, we call that sediment. So that's the tannins as the wine ages. As the wine ages, that's what comes together and sinks. So the molecules come together,
Give me, I got.
and throughout the process of aging, the tannins die off, and they oxidize, and they sink to the bottom of the bottle.
What causes purple teeth?
That is the tannin in the business as we know it. So that's the compound in the grape skin where it gets its color. So during maceration or during the time period when you press the grapes, like Lucy and Ethel in the vats, right, when they're stepping on the wine. That, by the way, you couldn't get away with showing that these days. They would cancel you right away if you did that. Although we Italians are the only group that people can still sort of crap on and nobody cares. But that's getting back to your question. The wine gets its color from the skins, right? So when it sits on the skins, when it's pressed, the berries are pressed, and the juice sits on the skin. The longer it sits on the skins, the more color and the more tannins, that compound that makes your mouth pucker and that sucks the moisture off your palate. The longer the longer that sits with it, the more you get.
I've seen a few guys at wine events
Mm-hmm.
start out like normal. Hey, how are you? Like they work for the company that you're going to sample their wines at.
Mhm.
Like, hey, how are you? Shaking hands, everything's normal. And like midway through, you see them like cackling, like, ha ha ha, and their teeth are all fucking purple.
It's because they didn't spit.
Yeah,
I've
but
been there.
You could tell by the way they're acting, and their bosses are looking at them, and they're going screaming and yelling, going crazy.
Yeah.
I did that recently at a whiskey tasting event.
Oh, that was
Even the bad whiskeys, I finished them.
That's a
And
really
let
good
me
time.
tell you,
I
it
should
was
probably put the photo like right now, like when I was.
with me sitting next to puke. Now edited. Yeah, but you know that happens. What are you gonna do?
You can talk, guys. You don't have to be a mute. You can talk. No, you
Nobody's
can.
ashamed of you, Pepsi.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, just because you're brown, you could participate.
Brown is
It's
beautiful.
like,
bro.
Sean,
Absolutely.
you got a mic, JP has a mic, Christian has one. I don't have one.
I only got 4 ports on the computer. One of them is used by the mouse. So we'll get a wireless mouse with both.
Fez didn't even want to be here.
Yeah, Fez didn't
And
want to
then
be
he
here.
saw us setting up and he got interested.
So I want to be part of his.
And now he
plans.
wants it. Fez might become the third mic, but he's got to be producer. He's gonna end up being like a genius producer. It's gonna unlock some crazy shit in his head, and it's just all gonna click. It's like, Joe,
We're gonna do
the
Joe
base
Rogan
levels are
numbers.
too high.
He's gonna be our Jamie.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
Charlie. There's only 4 million inhabitants on the island of the Galapagos.
And they all drink Alianico these
Sure.
days.
They love Alianicos.
Don
So-
Chile has only produced 2,000 bottles of this vintage this year. You guys have your numbers are wrong.
All right, so what are we
So
drinking?
The last one, just to answer your question, for the last one, what I got out of it was
Yes.
I had like dark fruits. I had like cherry fruits, black currants. I had a little bit of chocolate in there. You notice like the mid palate, like it would whack like the top of your mouth with that tart like sort of
Mhm.
acidity, and then it tasted like you had really intense, like concentrated, like kind of chocolatey tannins. And that's a hallmark of Alianico, right? And Alianico, the term, getting back to that, Alianico is a play on the word Ellenikos, or Greek.
Mhm.
So Alianico is sort of a play on that word,
Let me throw you a curveball. Sorry, cut you off.
right?
Is there a term, or maybe you could explain what's happening when you first open up a bottle of wine? You
Mhm.
take that initial first glass, like 3, 4, 5 sips,
Mhm.
where the wine can be a little off-putting, a little aggressive. But after that, maybe mid-glass, it starts hitting all those notes that you just described.
Yes, it's called breathing. So, and if you have any good sommelier in a restaurant, especially with a bottle like this, like Serra Nuove, this is a very tannic wine, and likewise, Diciotto is a very tannic wine, right? So the more tannic it is, or the older it is, typically, if it's like one of these wines that's like super tannic and is a little bit aged, I don't mean super aged because then it falls apart quick, but oxidation basically is the process, right? So wine wants to become vinegar. That's the natural reaction. As it oxidizes, the flavors open. So what you're talking about, Anthony, is the fact that it's like a flower that is still tight, that didn't bloom yet. So as the oxygen hits it, the fruit comes out. So that basically means that you have to let it sit for a little while and let it swirl. If you don't decant it, that's why people decant wines, one of the reasons. And another trick is if you want to open a wine up quickly, what I used to do in the dining room, if we had to get something out quick and we didn't have time to decant or whatever, we would sift it gently from glass to glass, and that's like the poor man's decanter. What you're doing is you're opening up the fruit, and that's why the bottle always tastes better when it's almost done. It's partially because you're probably drunk by then.
That's what I
but
thought. Yeah.
Also because it's
Hey, is
the
that
chance
like-
to breathe,
Is that like an effect of the alcohol? Like it's doing something to your blood vessels? Like you're pumping more blood? Or is your sensory picking up because of the addition of alcohol, and now you're tasting things
That's a
better?
great question. I would think, yeah, because it lowers your inhibitions, right? It raises the absorption of dopamine. In the brain.
Alcohol lowers your
Also, maybe
inhibitions.
the acids wiping your palate of whatever Starbucks coffee you drank earlier, and now it's prepping it for the wine.
Hey, take it easy. Don't shit on Starbucks. I love their
I
Pike place.
fucking
bro.
hate Starbucks. I hate
Fuck outta
coffee.
here.
It's fucking
I was
disgusting.
I was in-
People are
People
savages. I'm leaving.
I
was
love the
in-
smell of coffee.
I was in
Disgusting
Seattle
taste.
last
Ooh.
week in front of the first Starbucks ever.
Oh, really? In the Pike Place market?
Yeah. Crazy
That's awesome.
line for it, but then around the corner is another fucking Starbucks. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Now,
Diarrhea in a cup.
hold on,
I got a nice story about
Don't
Wait,
go
wait,
back,
wait,
donuts
Anthony.
and
Tell me what you
diarrhea.
really
Hold on,
think.
hold on.
I got some real nice story for you.
I want to talk about the first wine we drank. I'm very happy how you described it because
Yeah.
I feel like uncomfortable like saying like, oh, this tastes like whatever to me, because people are like, are you fucking dumb? This is
Who says you're fucking dumb?
a lot of people.
You can read people's faces.
Anyway,
You
but-
see guys that are like, oh, wearing a nice ascot.
like you don't know what you're
like
talking
a
about.
little restaurant, like looking at you, like, what are you talking about?
But that first bottle, I got dark cherry chocolate.
Yeah.
And then once you said that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting it now.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just a matter, it's just a matter of practice, right? It's not that I'm a drunk, it's that I'm an enthusiast. I tell my wife.
Yeah.
My wife found my flashcards and she's like, oh, German dryness category. She just busted out laughing. She's like, is this a joke? I said, no, I'm studying. So it's what it is. No, but to your point, yeah, the more you drink it and the more, you just talk shit with people while you're drinking and tasting like this, the more you make your own connections.
See, like this one we're drinking now,
Yeah.
I get almost like a super sad taste to it. Is that
That's pretty spot on because meat is a grilled meat is kind of a secondary flavor in Sangiovese.
I'm a fucking sommelier, baby.
I don't get fucking focused at all.
Because you're
I don't know
you're
what
an
kind
idiot.
You're eating boar's head so precise and bullshit.
You just said it's fucking dried meats, man.
It might
There's some of that.
That'd be nice.
So the
What's
blend
up,
here is going to be Sangiovese. It's going to be Cabernet
Cab,
Sauvignon,
Syrah,
and no, not Syrah. but
Petit
you have
Verdot.
a little Petit Verdot, and you get a little bit of Merlot in there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
And that's a super Tuscan category summed
Yeah.
up.
It's a Super Tuscan. So the way this works, the history of Super Tuscan is when in Tuscany in the 60s, Guidalberto went to Bordeaux because they were land rich and cash poor at the time. This is when Italy was just on its ass, when it was broke. And you had these dilettantes. They called them dilettantes, but you had these landowners in
These feudal landholding noble lords,
yeah, basically
also known today as landlords, all
landlords.
over the Upper East Side,
The landlord. God damn the landlord.
making us all
God
show
damn
up.
the
The rent is too damn high. Whatever happened
It's
to that
never-
guy?
Don't shit talk the landlord. I'm gonna get fired. I don't want that.
I'm a landlord too. I got a nice story about landlording today.
I heard, yeah.
I
we were
ran into a
talking
nice
about that on
fucking
the
problem
phone.
today. What a fucking disaster.
Listen, I love
Jesus
my
Christ.
landlords. I'd do anything for my landlords.
That's what I
I
want to
actually
hear.
have a pretty good one.
Well, mine are my parents, so. That's all right. We're good.
You know, it's noble though. Who the hell gives their parents money for living there? Very few people. They just move out and expect you to pay their college tuition.
Listen,
That's what I did.
I'm sure my kids are gonna do it to me.
I didn't finish.
Why don't
Now-
you pay for my dorm too?
what I think we got
So,
sidetracked.
yeah, let's talk about this wine. To your point, let's look at it. So this has a little bit less concentration, right? And you see a little more light coming
light,
through it.
yeah.
And if you put it up against like a white surface, you can really tell.
I mean, I don't see color, but
So you have garnet, sort of ruby colored, like blood red in the middle, like ox blood, like the
Mhm.
old Doc Martens, right? And then it gets lighter at the rim. And that means it's got a little bit of age on it. So this is not actually, no, it does not. This is a 2019. Serves me right for trying to read the label without my glasses on.
come
Yeah.
on, man. Sounds can't be wrong.
Believe me, depends on how many shifts you've been working in a row. It also depends on how many drinks you've been sneaking in the back out of the used bottles. But you didn't hear that from me.
What are some horror stories?
Wait,
How much time you got?
come across-
hold
we got a
on,
lot of time.
hold on. I wanted to see what you would pair with this wine.
Oh, this is great. This is like an all-purpose wine. So the sopressata that you talked about
Mhm.
is ideal. Anything salumi or sopressata or charcuterie,
Mhm.
tailor-made. My rule is if it grows together, It goes together.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at Bordeaux, because this is ostensibly a Bordeaux wine. So getting back to the story, to give you some background, Guidoalberto goes to Bordeaux because he notices that the light and the soil conditions are very similar in Tuscany as they are to Bordeaux. So he drives his little car, his compact car, he goes there for the weekend, and he starts to study other winemakers. And he looks around and he says, their habit of blending, right? Because in Bordeaux, that's the first place where they ever really blended wine varietals, like officially speaking, just to get for, not just for, fuck it, just throw whatever's there into the vats and let's see what happens, because they want to control the taste of the wine. So vintage to vintage, it changes because they want to go for a specific taste. So by manipulating the amount of Merlot, the amount of Cab, the amount of Petit Verdot, the amount of Malbec, they can get specific taste. So he figures he can do the same thing in Tuscany, and he can sell people wine that people want. So of course, naturally, we Italians being Italians and being tied to our traditions, they threw rocks at him. So what the fuck are you doing? You're a pervert. Very much like Elio Altare when he chainsawed, his botte up in Barolo, and he started French oaking the Nebbiolo, which of course is a perversion, and I think he should,
So
should have been ostracized for that.
French oaking is New World style.
Well, it's Old World style,
Old World
but
style.
for certain wines, like Pinot Noir, because it's high acid, does very well in French oak.
Okay.
Wines like, and you can make the same argument about Nebbiolo in a vacuum. But I'm an Italian and I'm a traditionalist, so fuck them. They're perverts.
So for the folks at home, what is a New World style Barolo versus an Old World style Barolo? And what are the notes you should look for between the two?
Okay, fabulous question. Let me explain. Allow me to retort. A New World Barolo, and you should see Barolo Boys, the documentary. It's on YouTube. It's on, I think, Amazon or on Netflix. But when Elio Altare wanted to modernize Barolo, he bought French oak, and he realized that people wanted Barolo quickly, because Barolo, which is a town in the Langhe Valley of Piedmont, and Barbaresco is another township, right? So that's the difference. It's a place name. So Italians can name their wine after place, after grape, after fantasy name like this one, like La Serra Nuove, or the winemaker. So in Barolo, in the township of Barolo, you had to age the wine for a really long time because their aging techniques took like 25 years in some cases for you to be able to even open the bottle, because you had these rip your face off tannins. It's insane acidity.
What do you mean aged? In bottle aged 25 years?
No. In botti, in these big like neutral oak barrels, right?
25
In
years?
some cases, it depends on the vintage.
How
Minimum
much
was
water
5
you
years.
left? How much wine are you left over with after 25 years?
Precisely, and that was
Yeah.
his problem,
That's-
because he was broke and he needed to make money. So
But then the
naturally,
Mussolini comes up and the Germans bomb South Italy again. Your 25-year-old Barolo.
no, up north.
It's Piemonte.
No.
I think
So
I'm
he
lucky.
would have been
That's
drinking with the wine. He would
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
drinking
With the Germans.
They would have probably been goose stepping in the
in
and
the
I can
giant
say that, I'm
barrels.
from the north, but it's what it is. No, you're right.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's
No.
a
all
whole
of
other
the
canceling
South.
session. I'd get canceled just for what I was thinking. But
I always describe Northern Italians as wearing the scarf.
Sick of that.
And the Southern Italians are just like standing in the sun, just picking their nose, looking the fuckers up.
that's a
Mountain
really,
men.
that's a really cool
We're
stereotype.
Southern Italian, you
I-
idiots.
I know. I know.
Well, to your point, my wife is Southern Italian, and I love the South. I spend 3 months of the year in Naples, and I love Naples. And my cousins up north are horrified. They're like, "Oh my God, they didn't steal your wallet?" I said, "No, asshole. It's like to get on a train, come down. It's paradise. You're up there dealing with traffic, smog. Amazon took over like half your shit. You're dealing with like all kinds of crazy like racial tensions because you have all these factories."
Mhm.
And it's like, come down south. It's beautiful. The food's
Yeah.
great. It's unspoiled.
Better food.
Better
Yeah.
food. People are laid back. They don't correct you when you mispronounce something.
I
They
love
don't
the
give a
South.
shit.
But at the end of
I
the day,
love
Forza
South.
Milano. Let's go.
Or something, yeah. Well, listen, my folks are from Milan, from the outskirts of Milan, and it's like, I'll tell you, I love where I'm from, but I don't feel the need to visit it. Meanwhile, I go to Napoli 3 times a year,
Yeah.
and I love it, and I love the coastline there in the Cilento. But getting back to what you were saying, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about, with the Super Tuscan, it's all about how they plant it. And people threw rocks at this man for blending varietals. The doc got upset, like the wine board got pissed off at him, and they called it VDT, or Vino da Tavola, or table wine. They give it the shitty classification. Oh, that's for peasants.
That's not IGT.
No, IGT is indication of geography that's protected. Indicazione geografica tipica, or this is a typical wine. This is recognized as being from the place most of the time. So it's a very like fussy little hierarchy that we Italians have dreamed up, because this is okay here, but not okay so over there. You know, it's very fussy. You know, the doc is pretty special. Pretty special people to deal with. You know, we Italians tend to be good at post offices, bureaucracy, and, you know, making fast cars and good wine. But the thing about this is, when they came up with the concept, everybody shat on them, but people loved it. People absolutely lost their fucking minds when they drank the wine. And it sold. And to this day, right, you know, Super Tuscan commands big prices, you guys know, because it's good. And it's...
Who wants to drink something unpleasant? I tell customers all the time, wow, I like this. You think that's what you like? Enjoy it, drink it, have a great time. Laugh it up with your friends, get chummy.
Yeah.
Get crazy.
And I think the thing about this wine is that it has the characteristics of Bordeaux, like it has that structure. You know, they look for in what structure. Structure is basically the story. It's the beginning, the middle, of the end. That's it. So if we want to go through this one, you guys want to go through the SNP on this, the sight, nose, palate?
Sure.
Give me a little bit more.
You want us
down mine already.
You want to say? Well, you want us to say what we think first, and then
That's better.
You correct.
Correct.
Because I believe in the
Listen, I already said it tastes like a little bit like a super
I
saiyan.
100% believe if you read the label before you drink the wine, you're gonna perceive those notes.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas if you go in there blind, you have a hard fucking time. Sorry, man.
No worries.
You have a hard time deciphering what it is you're tasting.
Yeah, I get like an anti-glass. I get a little.
All right, see, he already skewed my.
Well, I'm not. I got like a little nice little cheese, that's what I.
And as it opens, remember, I mean, the flavors are going to change. I mean, that evolves.
Can I say it smells like garnet?
What
Kevin?
What does garnet smell like? I don't know. What does garnet jewels smell like?
So on the nose, what are you guys getting? Swirl it around a little bit. And this is key. You got to swirl it.
I get some kind of rubiness. I can't put my tongue on
Red
it.
fruit. Maybe like a, I don't know, like a pomegranate or something.
Yeah, I could see pomegranate. But see, you just put
You
that
made-
thought in my
yeah,
head.
exactly.
So, yeah, I think it smells like pomegranate.
I'm still getting like a hard cheese. You know, I'm telling
No,
you.
we worked in the cheese store.
I know.
We know what
I'm
hard cheese
getting
is
like
like.
a nice hard like Sardinia.
But
Frio di
this is-
Sardinia or
See,
something.
you're influencing my brain. Now I'm like, oh yeah, Fierce Sardinia. Smells like goats. It smells like sheep. Yeah.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong though,
I'm
because you
wondering
know,
what it's
smell
like,
is the biggest trigger of memory in the brain. And that's why the more you do this shit, the more you do tasting, the better you get at it.
See, I'm really good with chloroform. Like I smell chloroform, I think of dry cleaners, like going in there with my sister when I'm
Yeah.
like 7 years old, just picking up her dry
PVCs,
cleaning.
man, that shit kills you.
I very, very distinctly know the smell of chloroform because it triggers that memory.
Sweet.
It triggers me walking with her to the dry cleaner and the guy hitting the button and the stupid thing swirling around.
Is it a sweet smell?
No, I don't smell sugar.
PVCs is no. I'm talking about the chloroform smell.
No, I know what PVC smell like. You told me.
Are we talking about yellowtail again? Chloroform?
Well, he also did industrial cleanup for a while, so he has like all these chemical smells in his head. He knows what they smell like.
That'll
Yeah.
serve you well when you're drinking California. Oops, I said that out loud.
I was actually in Napa last week.
Yeah, he was.
I was it's good. I went to a driving through all the valley. I see all these what are they called, wineries or
Yep.
and I'm like, oh, we carry that one. I ended up going.
Where'd you go?
One of our sales reps set me up with a Longhorn, and
Longhorn. It's long meadow.
Long Meadow.
Longhorn is the steak
I'm
that
so,
sells
yes.
goes on the
I'm
weekends.
fucking like 4, 5. I'm a lot of drinks in. either way, Long Meadow Ranch, very good wine. My girlfriend convinced me to buy a almost a 10-year bottle, 10-year-old bottle of Merlot, which was good, I guess.
No, it wasn't. It was California Merlot, bro.
Oh, wasn't
See,
that
like,
bad?
I like the guy who sells it.
It wasn't
He's
that
a
bad.
really nice
No,
guy.
it wasn't that
I
bad.
don't want to shit in his
It
wines.
wasn't that
I
bad.
don't want to shit in his wines.
No, I actually liked it. I actually did like it.
But you know what? You have to shit on stuff because if you don't,
because then you can't
people
like
think
everything.
this shit don't stink. Sazerac, I love them. I'm sure
Their
they're
rye-
never
their-
gonna listen to this podcast.
Their rye sucks.
But their shit sometimes
It never
fucking
dies
sucks.
on the internet,
It
just
misses the
word of mouth.
fucking notes. And
I gotcha.
maybe you should look at whiskey as fucking wine. Maybe
Very
each
similar.
year is different. Maybe you should
Mhm.
vintage whiskey. This is a
That's not a bad idea.
well, but that
That's pretty cool.
Pinhook started doing that.
Did
it
they?
makes
They
sense.
vintage their whiskey
though,
now.
because weather.
Yeah, climate. Shit happens. Different wood. Different parts of the rick house.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thunderstorms.
Mhm.
sure.
Bouts of humidity.
Yeah.
Drought.
Yeah.
What's that?
Shit fucks everything up.
It
Cows got some kind of like weird thing going on and they're not eating the grain right and the grain's growing uncontrolled. There's a million things that can happen.
Sure.
What's
Maybe
the
whiskey
whiskey
should be
that
vintage.
had? Was like the tornado year or some bullshit?
Fucking so
E.H. Taylor.
E.H. Taylor.
Yes,
My
that's what it is.
favorite bourbon is small batch E.H. Taylor.
Mine too.
And I drank
good
it
stuff,
after
man.
pandemic and
Yeah.
I fucking spit it all out. And I think I hit a little bout of depression.
Mm.
And I'm like, am I gonna look at the world through this lens now? Of like whiskey I used to love tasting like
An
complete
existential
shit?
crisis. Yes.
Maybe.
because
No
of
longer had-
because of the
Maybe.
You know, no longer
kung fu.
had the things you loved. They
Right.
disappeared. Yeah.
Right.
That
Or-
sucks.
Or maybe it sucked all along and I
no.
had blinders on. Who knows?
I don't want to get into why, because then we'll get taken off YouTube.
Oh yeah, because Fauci's gonna show up.
No, because don't get me started.
Fauci's gonna come in the flag our
You're
he's
thinking we're gonna
Fauci's
get
be
flagged
home and
because
go.
of the CIA.
No,
The
flag
fucking
this.
Kung Flu did it to you, and then we're flagged. Take off YouTube. He said something.
Hey, you know, it's COVID. COVID is a lot of. I mean, all jokes aside,
We're not
COVID-
gonna know about what really happened with COVID until
God
like
only knows.
60 years from now.
I know what
If
happened.
then.
We
I
still
what
don't know
happened.
who killed Kennedy.
It
We still don't know who killed
The
Princess Diana.
CIA. It was
not gonna
the
know.
royal family who killed Princess Diana, and the fucking Chinese government attacked the Western civilization and economy with COVID.
I don't disagree with that.
We're gonna get taken off YouTube now.
Actually, I am a flaming left-wing liberal lunatic, and I agree 100% with you that I believe that it was biological warfare that was unleashed by mistake. But I think the Chinese government had something to do with it.
Fuck.
I don't know what exactly, but they had something to do with it.
it came from a
Man,
bat.
craziness.
Bro. It came from
It
someone
came
who
from
ate
a
a
bat.
bat that
Somebody
ate a
ate a-
pangolin. Don't get me
So, but the
started.
wine, bat fucked the pangolin.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the pangolin came on the
Yeah.
dude in the market by mistake.
Well,
and
you know-
he sneezed on the. On
I'll
the
tell you-
on the-
I'll
on
tell
the
you a real
airline
life story.
pilot, and then, yeah.
I'll tell you a real life story.
Okay.
So when we used to work in the cheese store, my uncle Roger,
Okay.
rest in peace,
God bless.
he used to tell us all kinds of crazy stories.
All right.
He would tell us crazy things, and I think he was just telling us just to pass the time, make work more fun. But he said that one of the butchers would go into the ice box and they would cut a fresh lamb would come in and they would cut it all up, carve it.
Yeah.
And he would take the female part of the lamb.
No,
And
don't
go into
say
the-
it. Don't say it.
He would go into the ice box, which I don't understand.
With this.
Why would he go to the
Nothing
ice
to do
box?
with this.
but he would go to the ice
Literally
box
Nothing. Nope.
and he would
Don't finish it. Don't finish
Well,
it.
that's
he
the
would
thing
he
with
would do
butcher.
his thing with it, right? And I go to him, I go, no, he didn't. Well, at the time, we're like 15, 16, we're coming of age. I'm like, it can't be true. And then once you become a man, you realize that the desperation, what things can happen.
You would say,
right?
yeah, I
when
would
you're like, you know
fucking
what?
get cheap.
It's been a couple months, maybe pushing a year, and you're looking at the thing you just cut up out of the fresh lamb, and you're like, it's still hot. I don't know. As I got older, I started thinking about it. I was like, maybe it's a possibility. When I was a kid, I thought, no way. That is something locally.
Now, what would you
Urban
pair with?
legend.
What kind of wine
with the
would
sheep
you-
with the sheep vagina? Well, the Serra
Sheep
Noire.
milk. A nice Greco di Tufo.
I'm going to go to Tufo if it's a white. If you would like a red. Thank you for that,
Oh my
for
God.
regaling us with that story,
Right.
Anthony.
So
I
what-
feel so much.
Well, they were
Richer
talking
for the
about like
experience.
the pangolin and the bats.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm sitting at home, everything's shut down. And I'm like, Yeah, you know what? Thinking back to that story, yeah, it's probably possible. Maybe someone banged the pangolin in the woods of China, and then they coughed on the bat, and the bat flew around and spread it
They
everywhere.
said the same thing with AIDS. Oh, someone banged a monkey. No, the government invented it. But that's a whole
The
other-
government did not invent AIDS. No, that was actually they found out what happened with that. That was another story.
That was another Fauci thing, but that's a whole.
No.
What happened with AIDS? What do you know about AIDS?
I know that it sucks. I know that a lot of people had it in the 80s and it sucked. But no, what I've and again, I'm a sommelier. I am not a
AIDS doctor?
epidemiologist. I am none of these things. But from what I've been taught in school, I know that it came from monkeys. It does come from eating monkeys. It comes from I guess a mammal strain that's similar to humans. So every once in a while, you have these diseases that jump across species, and it fucks things up because our immune system isn't necessarily adapted or equipped for that shit. So that's what happened. It jumped across, like very much like COVID-19.
Well,
like
what
monkeypox.
they
Yes.
what they told us in school growing up, in grammar school, like '90s, late '90s, they would say if you have sex, you get AIDS. I went to Catholic school,
Obviously.
so I said.
No, they said if you're gay, you get AIDS.
That's
No,
it.
no,
That's what
but
he
they said if you have
So if you're
sex,
gay,
you
you
had
get
AIDS. And all I remember is sitting there going, my parents have 5 kids. My parents have AIDS because they had sex.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I thought because that's what they told us. And then I'm
Right.
like, how do you not? I raise my hand. Oh,
My
little
parents-
JP, what's the matter? I said, so how do you not get AIDS? They go, you don't have sex. I was like, okay, and that's what they taught me in Catholic school.
Pretty impressive use of logic by the Catholic school there.
Yeah, well, I
Sounds
was
scary.
taught sex ed by a priest. What the fuck does he know?
Well,
That's
yeah.
about theology.
There's a whole
That's
other
how-
litany of
that's-
jokes that opens
Yeah,
up. I don't
yeah,
want to go
yeah,
there
yeah.
because
I used to be an altar boy. I quit though because I got sick of the taste of semen.
See, I never made it to altar boy. I never got to the altar boy status.
That's what she said.
We used to go. I joined the older boys because we used to go on a in the summer. We used to go on a little trip. They used to let the
Were there
priest-
tents involved in Boy Scouts?
No, even worse. The priest would take us to a water park.
No.
And
Did you
our
go to Action
parents would
Park?
Sign away. No, we went to Dorney Park.
Oh my God.
And now thinking about it,
And PA,
yeah,
they let anything fly
Yeah.
over there.
they would
Well,
have a
it's
bunch of
PA,
priests
I mean.
take us young boys with our little shirts off running around. God damn.
That's great.
You know what's sad though? There's no more Boy Scouts.
They never molested me.
There's no more Boy Scouts.
That's
Oh
what's
well,
sad.
I'm happy they didn't molest you.
They didn't like fat kids, I guess.
Not that thing.
Not that type.
Well,
thing.
life is full of these little indignities. That's
I mean, I feel bad because I would like to send my boys to Boy Scouts, but then thinking
Yeah,
back,
really.
I probably wouldn't send
No,
them.
they-
I'm like,
Boy
no,
Scouts
no.
get fucked, man.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe if they had the street element, they might be okay. They'll defend themselves.
Yeah,
If someone sneaks up on them in the tent, they
That's
may
crazy.
attack them back. I don't see my kids.
You
not
gotta
being
go
street
out in the
smart.
woods with yourself and teach men to start a fire.
Yeah, I'm not good at
You
that.
got the hat already.
I got the
You're
hat.
ready to go.
I mean, there's all kinds of, if they don't have the Boy Scouts, you want to teach them, street survival. They got plenty of other organizations around that'll be happy to take them.
Couple
Crips,
gangs that can-
Bloods,
Yeah.
Latin Kings will be happy to
They'll
take
probably
them.
be good at MS-13, I think.
There you
I'm
go.
just 13. Crazy. I wonder what wine MS-13 drinks. If they-
Toilet wine.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't.
I
Do they
don't
drink
know.
Yellowtail?
I guess.
Do they drink Culitos?
I don't know. I have no dealings with them, and I would not like to talk shit about anybody involved in it. I just want to make it
I'll
known
fight-
that I have no problem with
I'll fight anyone from
involved.
MS-13. Come into this law, I'll fucking fight you.
No thanks.
I'm not a trained fighter at any means, but I'll,
The big
I'll
one.
fucking
Leave
give,
me alone.
I'll give everything I got in me.
I have literally nothing to do with this conversation.
MS-13,
What did he say?
Zapata, Salvatrucha, whatever. Bring them, come on.
Sicario?
Whatever.
Is Sicario a gang, or is that just a
No,
movie?
I think
No,
that's
that's
just
I
a
think that's
hitman.
a term for hitman.
I don't want
like
to
a-
fuck with the hitman. But,
No, definitely not. So what do you guys think of this second?
so anyway.
Meanwhile,
So
back,
anyway,
I think it's
back at
good.
the wine store. So this is the second label of Ornellaia. So Ornellaia is this very high-end producer in Tuscany, in Bulgari. and they make very baller versions of this wine. This is like their second label. This is like their junior version.
So, in terms of, maybe you could go through each one.
Sure.
In terms of size,
Yes.
from Dichotto to,
In terms of body,
no, like I say, vineyard size. Like,
vineyard size.
Yeah.
Oh, huge. Yeah, huge difference.
massive, right? You're talking like big
Huge.
titans of industry, like
Yep.
probably the biggest, one of the biggest producers in Tuscany.
Yep.
They're probably exporting God knows how many. I could probably look this shit all up
You can
later.
look it up, but yeah, I don't know
Compared
what
to
the
these
yield
guys.
is. Well, so Bruno's little vineyard is in the hills in Torchiara, just beyond Agropoli, just behind Agropoli. Getting there, you take your life in your hands. You have 45 to 50 degree hills on the roads that have like hairpin turns. When I got up there in a Jeep Compass, I thought I was going to die the first time. No joke. I thought I was going to die.
That's how I felt going to my dad's town.
Yep.
It was the same kind of
Oh,
feeling. These big 18-wheeler tractor trails like blowing
Yep.
by me.
Bro, it was scary. But Torchiara, Agropoli, just to give you an idea, the town, like the main town that's on the ocean, is this old city tiny little city. If I were to live in South Italy, that's where I would live, in Agropoli, because it's beautiful. It's right on the water. And his home is his vineyard is in the hills just right behind it. But right behind it is an interesting proposition, as you know, in Italy. You got to take the road to nowhere, basically. You're like up and twist and turn. By the time I got there, my nerves were so jangled, bro. I was like, my hands were shaking like I had, 3 Starbucks, mega caffeine enemas. But he sees me, he's like hanging out there, and it's like this tiny little vineyard. It's like maybe, I don't know how many hectares it is, but it's like it's like maybe 15 hectares tops. So maybe a tenth the size of Ornellaia. Maybe. But it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Now,
Wash your hands.
yeah, please. So, what is your favorite wine of
Man.
what wine what was like when you taste like this is it? This is your go-to.
Depends on what I'm eating. To be honest with you, JP,
Okay.
it depends on what I'm eating. I'm one of these old school guys when it comes to this. I was taught that wine is a side dish on the table.
Okay.
So what I drink depends entirely on what I'm eating, because the wine is meant to kind of highlight, most of the time, the wine is meant to highlight what I'm eating. So if I were having this, for example, I would have, you look at what they have in Tuscany. They have steaks. They have focaccia. They have white beans and escarole. They have really good olive oil. They have really good grilled meat. So that's what I would have with this wine. My go-to, let's say I'm having a steak, would be a Bordeaux. Let's say, for example, like your Pastorelle that you have there.
Yeah.
The second label of Clerc Milan, I think is spectacular. Or this, the Diciotto. Anything from Bruno or from his sister Paola are my go-tos. I love wines from South Italy. I think Southern Italy has some of the best value in the wine world because, it's not on everybody's radar just yet.
Yeah.
And you have, the key is in the wine world, if you want to find something that's good value, and this is crib notes for everybody listening, you want to find a region that's not quite there yet on everybody's radar, that hasn't been blown up. It's like the same place that we employ, the same philosophy that we employ with planning a vacation. You want to go off the beaten path. If you want value, you want to go someplace where other people don't go as much.
Yeah.
Because with wine, you're paying, most of the time, you're paying for people's reputation and for the marketing.
Yeah. You're paying for the name.
That's it.
So like a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff in the stores like that. Like we were talking about Sazerac.
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace. I love Buffalo Trace, but now you're paying for the name now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No
go off
doubt.
the beaten path.
No doubt.
So I mean, is it always true? White chicken, fish, red meat, red wine. Is that like?
It's a good rule for a reason. It gets to be a rule for a reason, JP, and I'll tell you why. Because the tannins in most red wines, if you have like a heavy wine like this, with fish, all you're going to taste is the wine. You're not going to pick up on the fish. If a delicate fish like a Bronzino or like, a sole or something, like a Dover sole, you're not going to taste it. So why, at that point, just have a piece of cheese. You want balance on the plate. And that's why, and that's the key to most things, and like most things in the wine world, and I think this extends to whiskey, you want balance of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it good. So you want your wine to balance what you eat. So if this is like an amplifier with like rock music, right? Because it's like full bodied.
Yes, very full.
If you have a dish that's real delicate, like again, fish or chicken maybe. If you have like fried chicken, yeah, this will go well with fried chicken. But I'd rather have champagne with fried chicken. I'd rather have white burgundy with fried chicken. You know, I'd rather have something like that. This I would have with a steak.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. You don't want to overpower the food you're eating.
Yeah.
You know, complement as well. I mean, was always, that was like the first thing I learned of wine is, fish, chicken, white, red with red, and full body.
So with sushi, it's like my go-to is like sparkling wine because it's hard to fuck that up.
Yeah,
it's really hard. So if I'm having seafood, if I'm having sushi, I tend to go like with lobster. Lobster's an easy pairing. I go with Chardonnay because it's buttery, right? You want something that brings out. So you want to pair like common thread, like with clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you dress, you want to do like you want to find like common thread. You got to coordinate. Remember Boomerang? You got to coordinate. So what I say is find the common thread, find the match, or do the diametric opposite, or do the balance. So for example, high acid red like this with meat. If you have like something real fatty, like a fatty cut of meat, like a really good like a mixed grill, like sausage, like lamb meat, like a really nice marble, like a ribeye. You want something with a high acid red and lots of tannin because that's going to balance it out. But with lobster, for example, a really nice Oaky Chardonnay. I'm not, all jokes aside, yeah, you do an Oaky Chardonnay with lobster because it balances, right?
That's what I was going to ask you. Would you go the Oaky Chardonnay route or the stainless steel tank green apple Granny Smith?
You can do both, man. You really can do both. I tend to lean
So the oak isn't the pairing?
It's the pairing. No, it depends on it. It depends on the taste you want on the palate because it all contributes, right? The food contributes to that. So I'll give you an example. With like a really buttery lobster roll, if you want to highlight the butter, you can have an Oaky Chardonnay, or you can have you can go delicate. You can go white Burgundy. You can go a Merceau. You can go like a white Marsanne if you can find one. That's nice because it still has a pop of the acidity. Or you go the other way. You go Chablis. You go dry Riesling. Dry Riesling will balance that beautifully. That's perfect because you want that pop of acidity to balance that richness of the butter. This way you appreciate both tastes.
Right. And elevate both.
Exactly.
Make the wine taste better, make the food taste better.
Yes, sir.
Now, I ordered a pie from our friends at Full Moon Pizza.
On purpose?
Some Sicilian pie.
Kidding. I love their pizza, by the way.
I think they're
Stanley, I love your pizza.
They're great.
Yeah, Stan's the man.
Yes,
we just had a chicken wrap from them for lunch.
What would you pair with the pizza that isn't dolcetto?
All right. I'm not a dolcetto guy to begin with.
I fucking hate dolcetto.
I don't like it.
I hate it.
I think it's a poor man's Malbec, and I don't like it. It's a dirt bomb in a glass.
Yeah, I don't like
What's a dolcetto? Which one is
dolcetto? It's an ironic term for the berry. It's from Piedmont, and it's low acid, high tannin, and just low fruit. It's like it depends. Some dolcetto is good. It's an ironic name. It means little sweet one, and it's anything but. So what I would do with Stanley's like a cheese pie, just a New York
Sicilian.
A Sicilian, lots of starch. I go with. Do you want something full or you want something lighter?
You're some. You pick.
All right. Well,
I don't want to give you any fucking input. I do, but I don't.
All right.
So I want to see what you come up with.
So for pizza, I say
7:40. 20 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go back to your roots, right? Where your family's from in Italy. And I'm going to go to this.
Galliani? Vultere?
They're Vulture. If you want to do like the geeky pick, this is what I do.
Okay.
Or, if it goes together, right? Because pizza comes originally from Napoli, and you go Galliani. But if you want to switch it up and you want to get a little weird, make it fun, pizza line, you do.
He looks like a kid in a candy store right now.
It looks like me at Legoland. Which one?
Do the pastrami. Enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Do the Pastorelle. That's a fantastic wine to open up.
Okay.
That's
You want to grab that?
yeah.
Which one is that?
That's the Clerk Malone, right?
Yeah.
It's right next to the caper. You're gonna need a stool.
Stoolie?
Yeah.
There you go. So that's, I say have some fun with the pairing and have, I appreciate your letting me horse around with some fun stuff.
This
Because
is what it's all about.
I really
Right next to the cake bread. Yep.
There you go. Yes, sir. Did you not get
He's
the
already
manual
done?
on how to use the keys? Did you not write the service manual?
He's saying
Sure.
you can't make the Sicilian.
Told me 30 minutes. He's got to
Said like
merge
an hour and
the
a half.
two doughs together.
You must be psychic. Thanks, man.
I've known Fez for a long time.
Guys, this is very generous. I really
What?
appreciate the time and letting me sort of rant on your time here and open up these
Nah,
bottles.
This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to put these kinds of interactions to record.
So what makes the Diciotto really good and such a rare value is that you have a rock star winemaker, the guy who literally put Alianico on the map in Bruno de Conciliis, and this is his passion project.
He's still alive, right?
Of
Because a lot of
course
these
he
guys
is.
are gone.
I hang out with him. He teaches wine seminars for my wine tours, for my food and wine modules in Cilento. He teaches them himself.
And Cilento, for the people at home, is
Is-
where.
It's an extension of the Amalfi Coast. So Salerno is the first city so it's in Campania in southern Italy in the province where Naples is. So everybody wants to go to the Amalfi Coast. So this is like the VIP area of the Amalfi Coast.
It's not
just right below.
Positano.
Positano is for people that want to take pictures of themselves in sundresses and get run over by buses.
I was actually I got like some Chase points or something, and I was looking at vacation getaways, and I was like, "Oh, Southern Italy." So I clicked on Positano.
Oh God,
It was crazy.
bro!
It was crazy.
Do not ever go there.
I think it was like for a week. It was like 10 grand or something like that.
And you get to hang out with Charlotte from fucking Virginia in her sundress and with lemons on it, so while she takes pictures of herself, and you get charged $100 for a plate of gnocchi that's bad.
Ugh.
Bro, it's your hell. And you have to go up 109 stairs to your Airbnb there, and they charge you like $300 a day if you get the cheap seats. It's ridiculous. Amalfi was great 40 years ago. What you want now is Cilento. Cilento is what everybody thinks of because it's the same coastline. It's just a little further down. This is a monster, by the way. Clerc Milan is a fucking monster.
So we're gonna let this relax for a little bit.
Yeah, the Pastorelle is nice. And it has enough bottle age on it. I mean, it's a 12, so we're going to let it open up a little bit. But this to me is, Polyak is what the good Lord intended. When he touched Bordeaux and he made it the best place on earth to make wine, he obviously spent a little extra time in the town of Polyak.
Is Polyak near the 44th parallel?
I would imagine. But I totally, you just totally blew the rest. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. He's brown. It's okay.
It's not because of that.
It's all right. It's
Fizz
okay.
is gonna have a heart attack, but it's okay.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Red wine is good for the heart, actually.
Yeah, well.
Sure.
Fizz is
Especially
okay.
3 bottles of it. 3 bottles of it is especially good. I'm still on the Ornellaia, but
Okay, so
this is Clerc Milan.
can you show this to the camera?
I
Pastorelle.
smell the oak right off the bat.
So they use
the
a little
first-
bit of French oak, yeah.
Prominent nose right there's the oak.
So I haven't poured this yet for myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. It's just I'm drinking slow.
This cork, man, looks fucking
Big boys.
beautiful.
Now,
So the Pastorelle is the second label of Clerc Milan. So Polyak is my very favorite, and the classification system is very favorite place in Bordeaux. All the first growths, most of the first growths come from Pauillac. The rest of them come from the township of Margaux and other places around it and further down. So the left bank of Bordeaux, so there's an estuary. Basically, it's a Y-shaped valley. So there's a Y-shaped sort of river basin there. And the Gironde and the Garonne rivers sort of go through and they go out to sea. So everything on the left side of the left bank is considered gold. That's like the main thing. That's where you get like the fancy wines, like again, Chateau Margaux. You get all the first growths there, Lafite, etc. Latour. So Clerc Milan is one of those classified growths, and this is their second label, as you well know. And what that means is this is like their, if you can't afford this, here's our leftovers.
That's what you mean by second label.
Yeah. So it's kind of their leftovers. It's their
It's not the cheaper grounds.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's like they're less attractive locations. It's not quite their prime locations, right? Because everything in wine is about real estate. It's about the location. And that's what, by the way, that's what Grand Cru means. It's a Grand Cru site. It's a real estate reference. It's not that this is a better wine per se because of the grapes themselves. It's because of where it's from.
Is it that same patch of land every time that gets the Grand Cru, or does it rotate across their property?
That's a great question. It depends on the producer, and the producer has every producer has different sort of standards, but by and large, these are places that have stood the test of time, right? We're talking about measuring things on 100-year arc, now, as opposed to, like, let's say here in America, we think of things as like in 10-year blocks, right? In China, they think of things as in 1,000-year blocks. In Europe, they think of things in 100-year blocks. So this is a Grand Cru site, basically means that this is where they get their best stuff from because the sun hits a certain way here. It doesn't hit that way there. The wind doesn't hit it exactly the same way here. You don't have the same amount of minerals in the soil here as you do, let's say, even 40 yards away. And that's why Burgundy is so site-specific too, right? And that's why DRC commands 10 G's a bottle, and if not more so.
DRC for the folks at home is Domaine Romani Conti.
Yes, sir.
The very prestigious, very high-end stuff. The stuff that Sherry Lehman pre-sold to everyone and stole all their money.
Ackermerrill. It's
Ackermerrill. I thought it was Sherry Lehman. Wasn't Sherry Lehman?
Well, I don't shit on Sherry Lehman. I'm sure they fucked up, but
I like to shit on them because they're gone. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. We can't get screwed for that. No, we can't get sued.
I would love to see a revival. I would love to see.
Ackermerrill also fucked around with that.
I saw that. I saw that too.
Dr. Conti had his hands in that shit.
He was part of that too?
Hell yeah, he was down with that. Rudy was instrumental in most of the forged DRC that was out there.
Rudy
Cornillon, yes.
Cornillon.
He had a lot to do with that shit. And to be honest with you, from the point of view of Assam, I think the scam was brilliant, and I elevate him for it. I even have a burner account of his on Facebook that I'm friends with, just because I love to see this guy's jokes. I think he was fucking brilliant, and if he walked in today, I would shake his hand.
Now, who's this?
So if you see,
you guys are talking inside baseball here. I don't know.
Yeah, we're geeking out here, but so Rudy Cornillon was this guy from Singapore. Okay. That was, if you have an Amazon Prime membership, what you do is you download Sour Grapes. Okay. Sour Grapes is the name of the documentary that talks about this guy who in the late 90s, early 2000s took the wine world by storm. And he was bidding on like esoteric stuff like Paul Meyer, Merlot or whatever. And he became a player in the wine world. And he ends up having this like group of friends. He was like this Pied Piper. He was this Asian guy, this Chinese guy from Jakarta, who supposedly was the heir to the Heineken for distributorship in China. And he had this deranged, like, next level palate where he could like pick up on like insane nuances in wine. He was just super talented at this. And he was just this young kid going around to these auctions, and he said he wanted to be a player. So he ends up getting this group of like Hollywood people just like following him around like this Pied Piper, and he's doing these wine dinners and all this crazy shit, and he ends up defrauding people for millions.
He's the Bernie Madoff of the wine world.
Exactly.
Real confident kid.
Yep.
Slim, talking shit up, real snobby, knows how to like mingle with people.
But he was super cool. Like he was really nice to people, and
Yeah,
he was
but
wasn't a dick to
he
people.
played
Except
it
he
off
stole their
really
money.
fucking well. So
Yeah, but they had a good time, so it's all good.
ultimately what happened was he conned one of the Koch brothers.
Coke.
Well, they sold him shitty wine. They
No,
sold
no,
him
no.
fake wine.
Koch as in Koch.
Yeah, the energy
Those dudes.
people.
The guys who like they spend
buy
like 500
elections.
million on like Democrats, 500 million Republicans, and they make believe they're like good
Okay,
people,
yeah,
right? They're like
Yeah.
buying all kinds of stuff. So one of them, I think it was Charlie, who was like one of the Koch brothers, the one that's still alive. He
I know.
got the DOJ to go after this kid after he discovered that he bought a bunch of fake wine off of him.
They threw the book at him. They
He
gave him a
was the
sentence
first
longer than
kid
murderers.
to get indicted for selling counterfeit wine.
You
Up
can't-
until then,
you
it was like,
can't fuck
oh,
with somebody who
eat shit.
is-
You bought a bad bottle.
yeah.
That's your fucking
Yeah.
fault, stupid. You didn't know enough, right? You couldn't smell the nuances. You were too dumb, or you were too greedy,
Mhm.
and you jumped at the opportunity to buy counterfeit DRC.
That's wild.
It wasn't
So-
just DRC. It was
So
a
they
bunch of
buried
it was all
this
kinds
guy.
of shit.
They buried him under
laminate.
the jail.
Well, I think he's out now. I think he
Yeah,
did
but
his
like I'm
time.
saying, they banged him over the head because
Right, but he was like the first one. It's like a white collar crime. So he was the first guy to have to eat shit. Was this kid?
So they're like, you fuck with a guy who has the politicians in his
He
pockets.
came too close to the sun. He hit the wrong guy.
So I
And
gotta watch that. I gotta.
a great
show.
documentary. I love it. I think it was really fantastic.
Um,
Because he made a lot of people happy. He showed like, what it is to drink these crazy wines and do these great events and stuff. And then he ultimately got caught selling a ton of fake stuff to big people, and they
Yeah.
weren't too fucking
I'll
happy
ask you
about it.
because you probably know this. I'm sure, obviously, Christian knows, but he said this is first growth.
I don't fucking know.
You don't know what that
I-
means?
I have no idea.
I gotta ask him then. I thought
I'm
you
first to admit that I have no clue.
There you go.
I could go look it up and say, yeah, I know.
Fez, what's first growth mean? Exactly. Exactly, Fez. That's why you don't have a microphone.
It pretty much falls down to the best of the best,
And this is
the
a
second
2012.
best of the best,
This is
the
a
third best of the best,
Mm.
and maybe if they're really popular and everyone drinks their stuff, the fourth best of the best.
I'll ask him.
He'll explain much better than I can. But yeah, this definitely isn't a first growth. First growth is what, Christian? Commanding how much bucks?
Well, hold. Let me get. Let
Oh,
him.
you
Let
tell
him.
me. You have a bottle of the Bhutan Rothschild up there.
$8.50.
Yeah.
That's first growth. This
That's-
is
that's
what?
a good price for
So-
for first growth.
So
Try to be
what-
reasonable.
Let me get on mic before I start asking all these questions. What does first growth mean? Like, what
Right.
is?
Good question, JP. So there's a classified growth system, like tiers, right? Like
Okay.
first class, second class, third class, fourth class, fifth class. So these are considered. And Napoleon, back in the day, has this commission because he says wine is the greatest treasure that France has at the time,
Mhm.
and still does, in my opinion. They still have the best wine on the planet.
They got a pretty good soccer team, but
Is he ready?
They do, but
Came in
I'm an
second
Argent.
place.
I'm
yeah, well,
an Argentine by extraction, as
They-
is Anthony. So we have different opinions on
Yeah.
the subject.
They gave
Go
it to
fuck
Messi.
yourself.
They
Thank
gave
you
it to
very much.
Messi.
And then Messi gave it back to them. And Messi gave it back to him. And
I used to sell the Messi wine for a while.
Messi has a one.
Shut the front door.
The Leo Messi. I was the first guy in the city to get it.
You have it?
No.
Well, we do have
it's not a long
the
What was it, Malbec?
It was Malbec.
We
It
do
was
have-
called Leo.
I Love Napoli Prosecco.
I'll take it.
Napoli Scudetto winners.
You have
winners.
the Scudetto wine?
Well, it says I Love Napoli.
It's
The
Asti.
third Scudetto they won.
I love it. I'll take it. And I
Well-
was just in Naples in June, and the streets are
course,
just,
yeah.
it's a shrine. Bro, I'm taking this home because my wife is going to lose her mind. And it says, this is great.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna buy
Forza
this.
Napoli,
We
right?
just got him in
I
maybe
love
like 2 weeks ago.
I love it. Danielle will then be less upset that I come home drunk.
So
Oh, my
So-
wife's gonna be furious, I'm sure.
Have Uber, we'll travel.
I got no one waiting for me at home, so I'll be fine.
Don't complain.
I'm not. So growth. You have first growth, second. What's
growth,
the
third
lowest growth?
Cru bourgeois.
Beaujolais
bullshit.
Nouveau?
That's all I know.
Cru
Bourgeois.
bourgeois. Bourgeois means of the. It means of the people, right? It's of the. It's like township. It's like
So it's for the peasants, basically.
No, for everyone. For like the public.
peasants.
Yeah. No.
That's all I know is bourgeois bullshit. I don't know where that term comes from, but
Bourgeois, well, it's different because in America we say when something is bourgeois, it means it's like fancy and snobby.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's the opposite. Like cru bourgeois in French, in the French classification of wine means it's like the lowest level that you can classify a wine at.
Okay.
It basically means that it's just like table wine. Like vino da tavola by us means that for them. So first growth, something like, and you have to like they teach this to like 7-year-old kids in like the second grade in France. They know what the classified growths are because it's like part of their culture. It's part of their treasure. It's part of their identity, right? Is to drink really good wine, smoke a ton of cigarettes, and, you know, have good cheese, and, you know, have women that dress in these, you know, $1,000 outfits to go get the mail.
Yeah.
It's like
Conquer a bunch of African
they
countries.
teach them how to protest.
colonialism, etc. Yeah, they teach them how to, you know, burn down police stations when they lowered the, you know, when they raised the retirement age by a year.
Well, we should be doing. Well, that's a whole. The whole congestion pricing. We should be tearing those damn things down, like the French.
Oh, I agree.
The speed cameras.
I agree.
They know how to protest.
Unpopular opinion. I like the congestion pricing.
I don't go down there.
I don't like congestion
Fucks
pricing
everybody, man.
because I think the city has enough money. They're just shitting it away. They're just frittering it away.
Well, you gotta deter
Like
people from
programs like-
driving all over the place.
Driving
Schools
all
and
over.
roads anyway.
the
Who
who's
needs
getting-
police?
The who's getting hurt is the working man.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, rich people aren't driving. They get driven around. They fucking
Yeah, they're flying on their
They fly,
helicopters
yeah.
and
You know
they
how
get
many
beamed in.
people
Yeah,
will
but
fucking
cab
keep out?
drivers, people who delivery. Now Fez has to make a delivery into fucking lower
Oh, we're
Manhattan.
not delivering. We're shipping that shit via FedEx.
Well,
Well,
to
FedEx pay that
JP's
fucking
point,
bill.
we all pay for it because all they do is they say, fine, we're just raising the prices on deliveries.
Yeah,
You know, Baldor.
yeah. What do you think? FedEx got to go down there. They got to fucking.
They
that
just
shit's gonna
raise
be
the price.
charged.
They
They
don't
gotta
give a shit.
pay
They just
30
raise the
bucks
price, dude.
more per day.
Bello, it's
Whether
like
that crosses
$20
deliveries.
at sometimes to get
All
down
right,
there.
but let's say Boris that truck has to go do 10 deliveries in the city. They're gonna charge $3 more per delivery.
Yeah.
That's,
No,
you know,
true.
it's not like a big thing. Who you really want to deter is like the guy going into the city to, I don't know.
But if I drive down to the city to go to work, Nick,
He's
Great
fucked.
Nick.
He got to take the train.
that's what I'm saying. That fucks
He's
Nick.
fucked.
Now he's got to take the train with a bunch of crazy crackheads that are gonna like bite his face.
Sometimes you
Well,
gotta
you know,
everything.
He should have never left the store, you scumbag, Nick.
Hi, Nick. We're missing you. We love you.
Oh, that's what you say about me? Oh, real nice.
He'll get upset later.
This is like rule number 1 of whole podcast is you're not supposed to eat.
Maybe you know what we'll do.
Let's pause it, no?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Let's wrap it
Have-
up.
Finish
So,
our wine.
last few notes, last few things
So,
we're going
guys,
to talk
let's-
about.
Can we do do you want to do a tasting on
Yes,
tasting review
yeah,
on
yeah.
this?
Right.
So what makes this wine good is the fact that on the nose, let's talk about the nose. The nose, you get oak, right, Anthony? You picked up oak
Mhm.
right away.
A ton of oak. That's all I pick up.
All right. JP, what do you get?
I got that oak. But again, influence. But I do have that oak.
So give me one non-oak descriptor. Really swirl it.
Getting fucking cheese now from the pizza, but a good swirl.
So for those playing at home, on the home version of the game, when you swirl the wine in the glass, what that does is that doesn't just make you look like a Hamptons douchebag. What that does is that makes the wine open up a little bit, as we discussed. Breathing is important. And not just in your yoga class or when you're meditating on the train, it has to do with opening the wine up so that you actually taste more of it.
I have to practice breathing when I hit that pay the mortgage button.
Oh, that
I
sucks.
don't know what it felt like.
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations of a landlord.
Life is full of these little indignities. That's going to be, if I ever got a tattoo, it would say that.
I got a lot of dumb tattoos.
No tattoos. My brother taught me from a young age. No tattoos.
What do I get from this?
So on the nose, I get a little bit of, I get some cherry. I get some pomegranate. I get just like tart red fruit, just like
Yeah,
a high tone
tarty,
kind of
yeah,
like red
yeah.
fruit, right? All right. So in the glass, it looks like super concentrated. It looks less. It looks a little more translucent. A little more light comes through than the other two wines. And there's plenty of legs, right? So this is probably a 14% wine, 14 and a half, thereabouts. Yeah, that's 15%. Wow. All right. And for those playing along at home, this is the Pastorelle from Clerc Milan, and it's the 2012 vintage. And what are you tasting? Tell me, JP, what's the first thing you taste? Give me one fruit, one non-fruit descriptor.
Yeah, I feel like you influenced me, but I get like a heavy cherry,
Okay, that's a good descriptor for this blend. You know, because it's Cabernet, Merlot.
The pizza really fucking changes.
And then,
Yeah.
And then like, would you consider this like a drier wine?
Yeah, I mean, and what's for those at home? Dry wine means what? Dry wine means
Like, when I think of dry wine, like a Chianti or something like this, it's like doesn't like I don't know. I never eat like it tastes like not doesn't taste like the cork, but I get like that feeling that dries out my mouth.
right.
It's
It sucks the moisture off your palate, right?
Yes.
Like if you have cranberry juice or if you have coffee, those are the two other most tannic drinks. In addition to red wine, you know, that's what has the most amount of tannins. And yeah, so this is a dry wine for sure. So body, let's talk about body. So would you say body is like stage presence in an actor, like somebody that has a lot of body, like a wine that has a lot of body would be a actor that has a lot of stage presence, like let's say Robin Williams, like huge presence, or someone like let's say Jim Carrey, like a huge presence. It takes up all the attention in the room. So when we're talking about a similar beverage, it would be the scale between, let's say, water and heavy cream. Somewhere in the middle is like a medium-bodied wine would be like whole milk. A really light wine, like let's say a Pulsar, or let's say like a very light Pinot, like a Burgundy Pinot would be something like, or even a Beaujolais would be something like, well, like 2% milk, right? Or let's say something like that on the scale of like, so this wine is something like, I wouldn't say it's whipping cream. Like that was like the first one. Like Puchotto is like whipping cream. That's like heavy. That's like full bodied. And this is something like, I would say this is like a little bit better. This is like, I'd say half and half, right? It's like up there. It's very full bodied.
Yeah.
Would you be surprised if this has sediment in it?
No, because it's 11 years old. So it's had 11 years to develop sediment, you know.
So sediment isn't a mark of quality or not quality.
No, it's a mark of age. It's a mark of age.
Just so the people at home don't get freaked out if they see sediment in their glass.
No.
Maybe they get something cheap or something shitty or something like that.
It's supposed to be in the wine. If you have red wine that's made unlike Yellowtail that we were crapping on previously, you don't age Yellowtail because it just gets dirty and worse as it just sits there.
It might be a nice experiment to do. Age like some 5-year-old Yellowtail, some 10-year-old Yellowtail.
Couldn't make it any worse. Thank you.
You never know.
So what do you think of my pairing?
Fantastic. I think it calms down the alcohol and the tartness, and it brings out a lot more of the fruit. That's kind of why I wanted to have something. I was trying to think of like what to eat, like maybe salami stuff. But everyone's closed right now. Pizza's the only option we really got.
Gotta love Full Moon Pizza.
It was funny. Actually, I went to Legoland, and they have like this mini land section. So it's like just like a miniature version of New York.
Yep.
They have the Statue of Liberty. They have Lower Manhattan. They have some of Brooklyn, some of Queens, and they have a really robust Bronx section.
Oh, is that right?
I was super impressed to see the supermarket across the street, Bronx Italian bakers, really prominent in their section, right next to the Botanical Garden Conservatory.
I think I saw this on your Instagram.
Right, and right next to the Bronx Italian bakers is what Legoland, I guess for legal reasons, couldn't call it full moon pizza. They call it half moon pizza, right in the corner.
They didn't
in
get
places.
the permission. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I guess if I didn't even want to do it, maybe it's more fun for them to just put their own spin on it. But I thought it was fantastic that someone came down here. Maybe they use Google Maps. You could use Arthur Cantina, no problem. We'll license it to you. But they built that whole section. My mouth was open looking at this thing as I'm walking around my kids.
No.
My kids are just going crazy, clicking on everything they can, going nuts. It was fantastic. It was fantastic to see it.
I'm so glad that they did that. I love it when people give love to the Bronx.
I got it often.
I mean,
We don't.
It's easy to give it to Brooklyn. It's easy to give it to Queens, maybe.
Brooklyn and Queens are like, the hipster boroughs, and we in the Bronx are like the redheaded stepchildren. No offense to the redheaded stepchildren in the world, but we're like the hall closet in the cartoon, right? In the Bronx.
We get more love than Staten Island, though. I guess.
Well, for obvious reasons. What do they have? Pete Davidson, and I guess they have Wu-Tang, so that rocks. But
The Ferry, Staten Island Ferry.
the Ferry,
The
which rocks.
Impractical Jokers.
Staten Island Yankees, they're pretty good. But the Bronx for years, like socially speaking, and I'm sure you can talk about this better than I could. But I went to high school here, and I've been coming here for the better part of my 50 years now. It's like the hall closet in the cartoon. Every previous administration has thrown whatever social problem they didn't want to deal with, socioeconomic problem, they just threw it in the closet. And then like the locals walk by and they open the closet and they're like, whoa, and they get like nailed by all the avalanche of bullshit. And that's what the Bronx was for years. And that's what's happening in the outskirts in the neighborhood, right? I mean, you walk up on Camberling and like up past like over towards the zoo now, and 187th Street is pretty gnarly now because of that. But it's like, it's what it is.
I gotta say, Adams is here a lot.
Is he?
I've never seen a mayor like post more about the Bronx than Adams.
Bozo.
He's here all the fucking time. Bloomberg you see here once in a blue at some parade. De Blasio, I think he saw maybe once or twice.
The useless?
Yeah, the useless. Big Bird.
Yeah, he was pretty special.
Walking 7 foot tall fucking. And
who told that man it was a good idea to run for president? I want to talk to this person. Who told him?
First of all,
you eat the pizza with the fork and knife, you don't got New York behind you. You don't got New York behind you, you're fucked.
His real name is some German name, right? That's like the whole thing.
No, De Blasio's an Italian name for sure, but
yeah, but he changed his real last name is a German last name. He changed it to De Blasio.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
he's a culture vulture.
He is. Cultural appropriation.
I don't know. We'll see what Adams does. Maybe he does something good.
I hope so. Couldn't be any worse than De Blasio.
Mayor Adams, if you're listening to this podcast,
we support you fully.
Please develop the municipal parking lot between Hoffman and Arthur Avenue.
Yeah,
if you do anything great with this administration, please develop that parking lot. You can triple or quadruple capacity with the current allotment of land we have there. It's just nothing. It's just painted asphalt at this point. If anything gets done, if this podcast is anything, if it gets that thing developed, I'll die happy. I'll rest in my grave content. Hopefully, a long time from now. If you want to name it after Cantina, I'll donate a bunch of wine to your next mayor gala, whatever.
Absolutely. And he lives in Jersey.
Who, Adams?
Adams.
Where, Englewood Cliffs?
No, he lives in Fort Lee, right next to me. I live in Cliffside Park now, so I pass his...
Get the fuck out of here. He lives in Jersey, that son of a bitch?
Yeah, he does.
God,
I mean, that was a running joke for years.
Well, what are you going to do?
He lives in Fort Lee. He's a mayor of the city, but he lives in Fort Lee.
I mean, he's right over there.
He's like, fuck this.
What's his name? If Christie had beef with him, he would fucking block all the traffic coming into the city every day.
Again?
Yeah. Look at Christie.
Goes off the Brady?
Crazy fucker. What a son of a bitch. Caused so much traffic for so many people going into the city.
The fact that Christie is not in jail now is like pretty scary.
Well, he's too busy shit talking Trump.
Well, there's always that.
Point to blaming that guy, right?
Well, maybe we should end it here since No.
Guys, I think this went really well. I'm really glad to be here.
I'm happy to do it, man.
Thanks so
I'm
much.
Thanks for coming.
I had a great time.
So you said, where can people book tours? And
Where's
So-
the easiest place? The website,
Yeah.
Instagram, email.
The easiest thing is just to go right to the website to Arthur Avenue Food Tours and Feast Travel. If you're interested in traveling to Italy and you don't exactly know what you want, or you know what you want, but you're not really sure how to create the experience that you're looking for, my wife Danielle offers these fantastic consultations where she'll plan your trip for you. She'll troubleshoot whatever you already have planned, and she'll give you some tips based on our providers, our network of people on the ground that can, sort of help you out with the experience you're looking to have. And that's big because if, most people, the most precious thing in people's lives is their time, right? So we're looking to make that.
You're pretty much planning the vacation of their dreams.
Exactly.
Right? You're helping them along the way. They're not relying on like Expedia.com and God knows what the hell they're gonna
Right, or some
walk into.
Instagram influencer or something.
Right. They don't they have no idea. You guys are real people. You can converse with you, talk to you. Hey, what do you think about this? Where's the best pasta in this area? Where's the best whatever, fried zucchini, whatever it is they want to eat.
Even like, I'm disabled and I can't do steps, but I really like beaches. So obviously we'll tell you, don't go to the town of Amalfi. Don't go to Positano because there's 110 stairs to get up to your hotel.
That's a unique problem, but you guys can solve it.
But we can solve it. Yeah, right. So if you're looking for something specific, we can drill down and get as specific as you need. And that's what you're getting when you come to us.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And again, thank you guys for the experience. This was such a blast.
It was fun.
Thanks for
Drank
coming
some
on.
good wines. We eating some good food.
Officially episode 3.
Right on.
Episode 3. Even though
when we're Joe Rogan status and we're interviewing Hunter Biden running for president, we'll think about you. We'll remember you.
And I will give my wine recommendations at that time.
Hunter doesn't want wine. He wants crack.
Is there a difference in varietals? Is there a vintage?
I don't know. Got that Bronx crack. You got Brooklyn crack. You can break it down that way.
Speaking of crack, I tasted it tomorrow today.
Oh, that
I was certain
terrible.
Whoever made it was on crack.
It was terrible.
It was fucking terrible.
How bad is bad?
It was fucking
Disgusting.
like really bad.
What was the name of it?
It was like IKEA.
You know,
It was like IKEA holiday like section.
Yeah.
Ground up and put into a bottle, and they put a bunch of like shit in it.
It was from
Oh.
Oregon.
Like it was cloves, it was nutmeg, it was allspice.
Who the fuck puts that in a Amaro?
It was fucking undrinkable. It was
Awful.
it fucked my whole palate up for the next 2 things they sampled me on.
Mm-hmm.
It was disgusting.
Wait a minute, but who has you taste Amaro first? That's a
No,
shitty
she said other shit first, and then he brought
Oh.
the Amaro. So like he's like, I guess his work along with guy showed up. He said, "Oh, try this, by the way." The vermouth was really good,
Mm-hmm.
but the Amaro, I was like, "Who the fuck would release this from Italy? Like, an Italian would not release this. There's just no way.
Where's
It's
it
too
from?
crazy." Fucking Oregon,
Oregon?
Yeah.
Oregon. And I started looking
get
at
the
it.
fuck out of here.
I'm like, the label looks really super Italian, like 60s, 70s Italian. Well, this must be Italian. I read the label. It's like Oregon.
That's cultural appropriation.
It's some asshole's fucking interpretation of what an Amaro should be out there.
fucking Metagon.
And they
bastards.
probably read like a Ben and Jerry's like Road to Success. Like, let's just dump 100 times the amount of flavor that should be in this bottle. It was fucking disgusting. So I want you guys at home to think about like all the shit that goes into us buying stuff and selling things on the shelf. It's not a plug for me, but when we taste
Plug away.
something, we're going through a lot of shit to find something good. This piece of shit thing I tasted today
It's terrible.
was fucking disgusting. I took the bullet for all you people that come to
Yeah.
the store. It was fucking terrible. God awful.
So while we're here, let's talk about the worst things we've ever tasted.
Oh my God.
Where does it rank?
I got
Might
it.
be
I really
that.
died.
That rank
Yeah,
is like
dive.
a pantheon of like worst
That
things
was
you've ever
pretty
tasted.
terrible today.
Yeah.
But I got to dive into the data banks and what was the worst thing ever.
That was
Could've
pretty
been the
bad.
worst thing ever. What would you say, Fez, was the worst thing we ever tasted? I'm probably going to defer to you then. Mang River is pretty fucking bad.
It smells delicious.
Well,
Smells like
no.
pineapple.
okay, I like it.
Smells like
I like it. I bought it.
I like the smell.
I
It's
like it.
fucking nice.
So, Mang River is a Chinese liquor. Now, me, I'm a little nuts. I like to double down on the anti-China stuff.
Okay.
Because I'm like, you know what? If I'm good at my job, I could sell this fucking Chinese liquor.
Hell yeah.
So this guy brought it into me maybe like a year into pandemic. We're still wearing masks and stuff. He's like, yo, sample this. You know, we'll see what the hell I got. I'm like, okay,
The
China.
ball's on him.
I go, you're fucking crazy. Everyone's anti-Chinese, but you know what? I'm going to taste it. Why not? It's a sorghum-based liquor.
What now?
Watch that thing.
These guys ferment it in open vats. They dig a
Sounds
hole in the
exquisite.
ground.
Sounds
I don't know what they
Chinese.
line the dirt with, if they line the dirt with anything. But they dump all the
Radioactive
sorghum
vat turd.
mash,
Pangolin scum?
high particulate air or something.
Sounds delicious
They
already.
let it age out in the open vats,
Of course.
and then they distill it like anything else, right? They purify it. Get all the.
So they let it rot for years and then they distill the motherfucker?
But sorghum, how many Americans are even exposed to sorghum?
For those playing along at home, Anthony, what exactly is sorghum?
Sorghum is another plant grain that grows.
Yeah.
It's I guess you say it's close to buckwheat, one of those like little grain things right there, like little
Okay.
The little
on the
rascal?
a little obscurity of
yeah.
things that Americans have tasted.
Stymie? Alfalfa?
It's not wheat, it's not corn. Americans love corn.
They do.
All right, it's
They
separate
love
from
corn.
that. So it has like its own kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Just it alone. This thing, when you taste it, now they distill it. They kind of make like a moonshine, grain alcoholish version of this sorghum after they distill it.
So compared to, let's say, the
can
White
taste it.
Dog.
You can taste it. White Dog is palatable. Sorghum Chinese liquor is crazy. When I was younger, I used to fuck everyone up because we would go to the bar and I would order
Yeah, little one.
8-9 shots of Campari.
I love
Right.
Campari.
But we were kids at the time,
Yeah.
right? We just got to start getting into alcohol. So to give a kid Campari, the best Italian, you got to drink Campari 3 times before you get used to it. It's just it's that palate. You gotta get used to that palate.
You gotta
Once
get used to it, yeah. It's like beer.
It's
You have to
beautiful.
get used to it,
Exactly. When you drink beer when you're a kid, you throw up. Same thing with Campari and young kids. They used to get pissed because like, oh, shots are everyone. They drink. I'm like, what the fuck? So I got this sorghum stuff. I taste it. It's crazy. The smell is like bubble gum on the nose.
hmm
You could pick up the sugar in it.
Yeah.
You could also pick up this like a cheese funk behind it.
Bubblegum and cheese?
Right. You're like, what the fuck is this?
So like a cheddar cheese or a blue cheese?
Say like a little more like on the blue cheese side. Not really a cheddar cheese.
Sounds delightful.
That's
Right.
it.
It's a complete fuck up to your senses.
You're
right?
kidding.
You're like, what the fuck is this?
I would have never thought that by the label.
I never drank more than a shot. Never had more than a shot. But
Shocking.
sold a bunch of it online.
Okay.
People looking for it, I guess no one had it. And
For
I've
some reason.
reordered about 3 or 4 times.
Hey.
Now, I'm not selling 100 cases a year. I'm selling 3 cases at a time. But I like to challenge myself too sometimes. When I see something crazy, something funky, I'm like, no
Give
one
it a
else can
go.
sell this.
We had a similar story at Columbia Wine Company when I worked there with our friend, Brent Clayton, the rep at Master.
Yeah. Brent's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's great. He and I worked together over there. Shout out to Rohan and Maria and Anthony way back when. So we had this thing on closeout, like you talk about crazy, right? You take a shot. These guys, the Dougal family, were the kings of the closeouts. They'd see stuff online and they just jump on it. We got the Ziggy's vodka.
Okay, I don't know. I know a lot of shit, but I'm not familiar with that.
Ziggy's vodka was Calvados flavored vodka. No, hang on.
Where what? Calvados, for people who don't know, is a
Apple
French
brandy.
Yeah, apple brandy.
Mhm.
So apple flavored vodka.
But no,
We
apple
got it.
brandy flavored vodka.
Right. So we bought it, I think, for like $1.50 per.
But someone's fuck up.
No, but we were selling it for, I think it was like $6 or whatever it was, $7. and people bought it like crack in 1985.
But $1.50, no one's making money on $1.50.
We were making 200%.
The importer, the distributor,
They just dumped
they
it.
lost their
They
money.
dumped it.
Mhm.
Right, at $1.50, they're not making any money.
But
The
Believe
bottle
it.
costs $1.
but it was good. You mix that with anything from apple juice, believe it or not, or that Martinelli's sparkling cider, that was hella good.
Sidra.
Sidra. You make it with sidra. Right, exactly. Says the other pseudo-Argentine in the room.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know how many times fucking Mexicans will come in here and go, "You have sidra?" I go, "What the fuck are you talking about? Sidra. You don't have sidra?"
It's
Like, what
cider.
are you talking
It's
about?
alcoholic sparkling cider for
Wow.
those of you playing along at home.
One Mexican lady would go to the supermarket and bring over esta sidra, and it was Martinelli's apple cider.
Right.
I go, "We don't fucking sell that. It has no alcohol, lady. That's a supermarket." And then from there, she taught me what the hell that meant.
But yeah, so it's apple cider. So it's, before, we got in the hipster trend here of apple cider, they had it in South America, right? And that's what they would make sparkling wine out of is apples. But that's, but that's the thing there. So that ends up being the last of the
This is done.
Fez is good. JP?
No, I'm good.
Christian, rip this in half.
No, it's all you, bro.
You want to rip it in half?
Man.
No, it's you.
Me, big guy, can get 3 slices.
Yeah.
So
On camera.
So this stuff, what would you mix this with?
The garbage.
The toilet.
Yeah.
How bad is bad? Can I smell this stuff? Can I give you an honest
Here,
opinion?
crack it open, give it a
Well,
sip.
drink it.
Give it a sip.
No, I'll smell it. I'm not drinking this.
We'll drink it at the very end.
What is
Yeah.
what it tastes like.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
We're doing the
That's a strong
where the what's it called? Where the,
Oh, I don't want to
people's
drink
armor.
this. It smells like wet wool. It smells like
Did I smell the bubble gum?
Just have a little bit of it.
toe cheese, like somebody's BO.
Cheese, that's where the cheese comes in. What kind of cheese? I'm like, blue cheese.
Pineapple,
From
blue
under.
cheese.
That was a joke we used to get all the time at the.
Which
Oh,
is?
no, that's yours. That's his.
Oh, he'll die.
Oh
He has
my
it.
god, that shit's.
He'll literally die.
It tastes like aguardiente.
I said moonshine.
It's like moonshine, yeah. It's not the worst thing I've ever tasted, to be honest with you. I've tasted worse.
I can't even. I hate
What
the
would
smell
you
of
say
it.
is the worst thing to do?
The worst alcohol I have ever tasted. Now that takes some doing. I would say it was either. Oh man, the cheese element of it is coming up on my palate.
Yeah, it's crazy. It has a lot of depth to it. A lot of developing flavors.
It's probably radioactive.
Well, yeah.
A little cold in there.
Listen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shout out to Bing River.
That's their soul.
oh God, that's bad. Oh,
The only Ming I shout out is Yao Ming.
Shout out to Bing River.
They, they don't test their soul, man. That shit's whatever sour gum is.
I don't want to give the Chinese a bad name.
You don't have to give the Chinese a bad name. They got social credit and all that bullshit, man.
There's some equivalent of us in China right now trying to do a podcast.
No, they're not allowed to.
Eating Chinese pizza.
They're not allowed
Getting
to.
demerits on their social score.
Mm.
Oh shit.
Now, the worst thing I ever had, I would say, because it's relative to the price you pay, right? Because when you get whacked for the price too, it makes you feel worse about it.
Yep.
It's a bottle of Camus. It's up there.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
And I've had some bad stuff before.
Are you
I've
throwing
had brass
Camus
monkey.
under the bus twice?
I don't like it. I think it's a waste of money. I think it's for people that, just pay for the label, like you were
Yep.
talking about. I don't think it's particularly good wine. I think it just tastes like Welch's grape juice, just oaked.
I think that's a big problem with people who purchase wine. You purchase it for the optics,
Mm-hmm.
right? I sold
It's a status symbol.
I sold 9 cases of Camus last month to one guy.
Mm-hmm.
One guy.
Crazy.
And he had a wedding. I made nothing on it. I sold to him for like nothing. Like I think I made like $3 or $4 a bottle.
Mm.
Right? It's an $80 bottle.
Yeah.
But he was buying so much in one shot, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Go ahead, take it. I'd rather get $3 a bottle than get no dollars bottle. So he does it, and it's for a wedding. He wants to put on the table.
Crazy.
He wants to
Not
look
much.
good. He also wants to perceive to the people who came to his wedding that he spent money, that he went all out for his guests. So they in turn leave a nice boost when they go home, right? They leave a nice little.
For those of you playing along at home in Italianese, that means the boost is la busta, or the envelope that they give to the bride and the groom.
So I get where he's coming from, but that's what the common person defers to,
Sure.
is the optics.
Yeah, it's the optics of it. It's
That person at home, that person at the wedding knows I spent at least $100 a bottle.
right.
Yeah, but not everybody knows wine. That's
The
my
big shots who he invites to that wedding are gonna
guess.
know that wine. Right? He's not gonna invite clowns to that wedding. He's paying $150 a plate, $200 a plate.
It's a clown wedding.
Well, he's been to a couple of clown weddings.
I'm with you, JP. You serve Camus, it's a clown wedding.
Right. He spent crazy money on it because he wants to perceive a certain image.
Mm.
Right? He didn't buy Rufino Gold because he knows that's $35, $40 a bottle.
Mhm.
He bought Camus because people are going to perceive it as a $100 bottle. They're going to give more money, or they're going to feel respect.
Yeah, it's a nice.
That's a lot of things. There's a lot of times, like when I try to recommend someone a bottle, oh, I need a gift for someone. Okay, what are you looking to get? You want to try this crazy guy who does biodynamic everything? He puts shit in a cow's horn and he uses that as fertilizer.
I'd be
No.
interested. Which one is that exactly?
That's isn't that your boy D Concilius?
No,
Who does that stuff?
that would be all that Pulsar and that weird fucking French shit from Arbois. Arbois is the one place in France that I don't touch. I hate that stuff. It tastes like feet. It tastes like this.
Right.
To me. But that's just, I'm going to get a lot of demerits on the from the Secret Sommelier Society for that one, but I
Don't worry.
hate Arbois. I think it sucks.
If they're one of the 13 subscribers, fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck him. Bess is like, I'm leaving.
Draw them out of
I
here.
can't take it no more.
Christian, it's a question.
Bess, this is why you can't be in the podcast. You don't even fucking want to finish it.
Our PA is out of here.
Twitter. Yeah, man.
Try. I can't drink all that wine, my heart.
I can't miss our ass. Guy's fucking smoking weed, drinking wine, eating pizza.
Can you imagine?
Your fucking heart's gonna explode, Fez. God damn.
So this to me is what wine is about. Like in a nutshell, it's like hanging out with the people that you like to hang out with and having these conversations, because it inspires like interesting deep dives on all kinds of other shit, like ancillary stuff. I mean, wine is one of those unique, like sort of philosophical beverages in that regard, I think. For just that reason alone. It's like if we were hanging out drinking shit, thank you. If we were having shots of like whiskey, I wouldn't necessarily be, I'd be a little more sideways. I wouldn't necessarily have these conversations. Not that it would be far off, but that's what I like about wine is it lends itself to these kinds of things. That's another one. Of the
We should
reasons I
do
love
a
it.
night of whiskey at my house in the backyard.
Sounds great.
This kind of time right now is beautiful. That's also kind of why I want to do this podcast. One, to kind of take an image of the neighborhood in this current time and period. Because 30 years from now, who even remembers what the hell we said, what we did?
Yeah.
This kind of immortalizes this time.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second thing, I always want to break down the veil, right? For certain customers, that people who just don't, they want to buy something nice, they want to get into wine, they don't fucking know. They're busy dealing with whatever they deal with every day at work and whatever
Amen.
trivial bullshit they got to deal with. They want a nice glass. They don't want to get taken advantage of. They don't want to feel stupid. They don't want to look stupid.
Yep.
So it's not so scary or intimidating as some people may perceive it as.
It doesn't have to be, yeah. Exactly.
I got friends who message me all the time. Oh, I'm at a restaurant. They have a picture of like the wine menu. What should I get? And a lot of it's like shit I don't know. Like I've never heard of. Like stuff I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, you know what? To get a really good price on cake bread Pinot Noir, get a cake bread Pinot Noir. You'll feel great. And the guy's like, "Oh, great, awesome, beautiful." He happens to love Pinot Noirs. He had no idea about cake bread or anything, but it really wasn't much more money than what I sell it for in the store. So I was like, "Yeah, it's a great deal. Take advantage of it. Get it."
Mm.
And the guy loved it. He was happy. Whatever. Happy to steer him away from Belglos Pinot Noir. Happy to steer him away from what's the other big fucking one?
Was it Sea Smoke and like
What's the other guy who sold it for like
Flowers.
crazy million? I don't even like Flowers. I sell it as a favor to one sales guy. I really don't like it.
I don't love California Pinot per se. To be honest with you, because it doesn't taste like Pinot. After you've had Burgundy, it's like Pinot Noir is not full bodied.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
It's supposed to be light,
supposed to
thin,
be.
and dry,
Smells
like vinegar.
Well, it depends. If you have a talented winemaker, like you don't have to spend DRC money, but if you spend, like you get a talented winemaker like Laurent Ponceau. We were going back to the Rudy thing, right? Laurent Ponceau, right? He broke off from his family, and he opened up a new winery, and his like entry level stuff, like $40, $50. But it tastes like Pinot, and it's rich. It's clean. It's like fruity. It has like all kinds of notes in it that you don't get from, a California Pinot Noir is all fruit and all oak. That's what you get. These bastards blend Syrah in that shit. That's why I can't respect what they do, is because, yeah, it's fun to say there's no rules. It just tastes good if it tastes good. But the wine doesn't fucking taste good.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good.
At that point, would you respect them more if they called it like, I don't know, like some kind of fantasy name instead of people calling it Pinot Noir?
Nah, not really, because at the end of the day, it's like, yes and no. All right? Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, call a spade a spade. Go out there. If you're not ashamed of what you make, tell people what's in it. Fine. Or if not, like you say, give it a fantasy name. But at the end of the day, it doesn't taste good. Half of that shit is like 15%, or even like high 14.5%, which is like bullshit for Pinot. Pinot should be like around 14% or so.
Right.
And it's Pinot Noir. I'm a purist when it comes to Pinot Noir. I hate to sound like that douchebag in that character in Sideways, but Pinot is one of those grapes that's like, it's thin-skinned, it's real delicate. It's difficult to cultivate it, and you should get a premium for it. But it's one of those wines that pairs with everything. It's like one of those Swiss Army knife wines where you can pair it with fish, you can pair it with chicken, you can pair it with a steak, you can go nuts with it. You can have it with nothing but a chocolate bar, and it still tastes great. It's fantastic. But at the end of the day, when they blend it with Syrah in California, they oak the shit out of it, and they make it taste like a Frankenstein monster. No, I don't have respect for them. Because half of that shit is runoff from the road, because the beds, especially down below the Central Coast, the road bed is above the vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
So all the runoff from the cars, especially when it rains, goes into the wine. And you're drinking
like,
that shit.
Upstate New York.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Same thing.
Mm.
So why would you pay money for that? You know what I'm saying? And again, it's like, how's that different from Yellowtail?
I can't get fucking cake for Pinot Noir. It's allocated.
They can keep it.
One shot at every
They
6
can
months.
fucking
Again,
keep it.
They can
Crazy.
fucking keep it. They want to give it to the restaurants? Give it to the fucking restaurants.
crazy.
Give it to the people who don't know their wine. You know what? You want a California Pinot that actually tastes like Pinot Noir? Sean Miner. Okay. Sean Miner is a good producer. Really good.
How do you spell that?
Minor.
Oh, my
Sure.
God.
Sean Miner is great. Their Cab tastes like Cab. The Merlot tastes like Merlot. They don't kill it. You
It's
know
not
what I
that
mean?
other fucking Pinot Noir that sold for $300 million.
Nah, fuck them.
What was that guy? I forgot his name.
Oh.
I blocked it
M
out.
something.
No, I blocked it out.
All
Who's
right.
Jim Clendenin, right? Look up Jim Clendenin. I forgot the. I've been drinking like we had like 5 bottles of wine by now, so I'm just like a little bit trashed. Jim Clendenin. What's the name of it? He just passed away recently, but his wine it tastes like Pinot. Like his is one of the few Pinots that actually tastes like Pinot from
Yeah,
California.
If he's dead, we're actually good.
No, but they still make it the same way. Like the winemaker is still there. It wasn't him that was just the winemaker. If
Bon Clement.
Bon Climat, yes, that is one of yes.
I'm gonna pay through the fucking nose. This guy died.
No.
Let's see who sells it.
No, that's I think it's
This is part of
it's
what
not
I
a
do.
Wildman
People
item,
come in,
it's
ask me
a-
for things, and I gotta like see to find out who the hell sells this thing. And
No, it's a I think not Fedway, but that's in Jersey. I think it might be an Empire item. If I'm not wrong. I don't know.
looks like it's multiple distributors. Which one? The
Bon Climat, the
Barbara County Pinot
yeah,
Noir?
yeah, that tastes like Burgundy,
Santa
but
Barbara?
more alive.
Isabella Pinot Noir.
You can't go wrong with any of their wines. Bon
Product is
Climat
currently
is
unavailable. Motherfucker.
that's one of the few California Pinots. You drink it and you're like, oh shit, this is what California can do. Because they have all the sun in the world. They have all the good soil in the world. They have everything. They just, because the land costs are so high, they just bug out, they get greedy, and they just create this McDonald's product because they just want to move volume.
You have this horde ass-kissing mentality
Yeah,
like Sazerac does,
yeah.
right? You don't know your shit
Facts.
stinks. You
Yeah,
think like, oh, I'm making great stuff. Keep pumping it out.
Yep.
Fucking Tom at the fucking winery. Keep making what you're doing. Keep doing
And
what you're
it's
doing.
the same thing as downtown on Mulberry Street. When you have one fucking pastry shop making it, then it's gonna suck because they got no competition. They think they're the shit. That's
Alright.
why Ferraro's went out of business because their cannoli sucked after a while. That's why we
A
have
lot of
6 different
cannoli
shops
suck.
up here that make fucking cannoli.
Yeah.
That thing was the cannoli neighborhood sucks. I'm popular opinion. I'm really not happy with the cannolis in this neighborhood.
I got one for you, Madonia. He
Okay.
fresh fills them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why they're good because you got to fresh fill them. It's a textural experience.
Have you had Villa Abate from Brooklyn?
No.
The best cannoli I've ever had.
What?
Yeah.
Says the man from Arthur Avenue.
I have
That's
to
heresy.
No.
really
makes a good-
step the bar up for Arthur Avenue when it comes to cannolis.
Are you
Know who makes a good
you're
cannoli?
saying this publicly? You're
I'm
gonna
happy to say this
You're gonna get
publicly.
stoned in public.
It's
here.
okay. I'll fight everyone.
Zapiri makes a good cannoli.
Zapiri Brothers?
Zapiri on
I'll fuck with them.
OSB and/or Bure. I think it's Bure technically, but
over in
I
the
heard good
Bronx,
things
over
about
on
it.
yeah,
the
by
Allison?
me. No, it's by
No, by Alton and Silent Doms.
yeah.
But I
it's-
think they bought them now, if I understand correctly.
they make
Is that
they're the
Yeah.
they and my girl got, I forgot where she got these cannolis from. I think it was somewhere in Brooklyn.
How about that, man?
It might have
You
been.
ever
I
know
have
about
to ask.
Never,
There was a
never heard of it.
pistachio cannoli and knocked my fucking socks
Next
off.
chance you get, go to Villa Abate, get some
Where is it?
cannolis. They're in, I don't know where in Brooklyn. I can look it up. They make great cannolis and they make great rice balls.
So for the next podcast, you know what I'm bringing? I'm bringing Rispoli from by me in Jersey.
Okay.
Rispoli's cannoli,
There's a lot of good spots.
fucking banging, like in Sicily, like that good, except sweeter.
What about the cake boss out in Jersey? Was he making cannolis?
Who? Who?
The cake boss.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard of it.
18th Avenue, Brooklyn.
make fucking
I don't know-
fun.
Oh, it's in Bensonhurst.
I don't know the neighborhood.
18th Avenue is
Bensonhurst.
Bensonhurst.
A
Bensonhurst.
lot of Chinese there now.
Yeah, a lot of Albanians, a lot of Chinese, a lot of
Bensonhurst.
Arabs moved in there. Yeah.
It's a lot of Italian neighborhoods getting killed out, man.
Well, it's because we Italians are white people now. All of a sudden, so it's
Yeah,
like we can
yeah.
move anywhere.
Yeah,
You got passports now. It's like great.
I think it's just spreading out of towns across the state and the tri-state.
Yeah.
So I was looking at statistics. There's 1.8 million Jewish faith members in New York State.
Okay, cool.
1.6 live in New York City.
Is that right? Wow. All on the Upper East Side?
Upper East Side, all
The
over
Upper
the
West
place.
Side. By me.
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
all over Brooklyn.
Yeah, true.
Italian Americans in New York City are 800,000.
What? No.
New York State, let me double check before I throw wrong numbers around.
So what qualifies as an Italian American? Like how far removed?
Yeah,
is
that's
that?
also true.
You identify, you could just do whatever the fuck you want. These
I
days.
guess that's true. Like I'm first generation, you're first generation, you're first generation. So we're like an anomaly. Here,
Okay,
fellas.
so-
Yeah.
2.6 million Italian Americans in greater New York metro area.
Woohoo!
800,000 living in New York City.
No shit.
Well, moved up to Westchester.
I was gonna get fucked, dude.
Well, yeah, 'cause
We're out.
Everyone goes to Westchester, Putnam County,
Yeah.
all those other fucking places, whatever exists beyond Westchester, Orange County, I guess. That's where they all are.
It's
And
funny.
right here, and that's
When I was in San Francisco last
Crazy.
week, I found Little Italy, and I was like, "There's Italians outside of New York." And
Mm.
then it's like there was a lot of Italians in San Francisco. You know, back in the day, and I was like, I felt comfortable home. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
the flags everywhere. I fucking
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
1.6 is 8 million residents in the city.
And here's the thing, that's like an interesting like reference for the neighborhood too. That's like a referendum on the neighborhood, because my wife's family, they left in 1974. They took 3 U-Hauls, and the 3 of them went up to Valley Cottage, and they bought 3 houses on the same block. Like a year
Very
after my family,
Italian.
like very Italian American, right? Like that's like
All
they
the
were
same
3rd
block.
generation. They were like 2nd generation by then. My folks came here like your folks, Anthony. They came here from Argentina,
Yep.
and they were like
In the 70s.
in the 70s, yeah. And it was like my dad worked as a waiter at first when he was just learning English. Like after, like he came here with suitcases, and my mom was pregnant with me, and he bought a couple of businesses. Like he launched a couple of businesses that failed. He had a shoe store that failed. Like he was trying to sell Dominicans and Cubans and Americans in Washington Heights. He was trying to sell them leather shoes instead of sneakers. That tanked. And he had an ice cream parlor that failed because the fucking ice cream truck would like park on the corner and like fucking undercut him. You know, this is not exactly, you know, Arthur Avenue where he could, you know, talk to somebody and have it taken care of. This was like something you couldn't do back then.
It just fucked.
So he ended up going to work, you know. So we stayed. Like the Italians here, they left. It's like, and it's diffusion of culture, right? This is like what happens. You get our influences everywhere, but yet we're being whitewashed. We were taught not to speak our own language.
Yep.
We were taught not to identify with who we are. Like my dad for years was like, no, you can't, you know, speak Spanish outside the house because people will think, you know, you're somebody that you're not. And it was like, what are you talking about? You know, I couldn't speak Italian outside the house either. It was like, you know.
It's funny that your father had failed businesses, as my parents did too. They had opened up. So they first came here in the 70s. They worked as supers for, very funny story, very funny connection, Fez's current landlord.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so it's a very small world.
Right.
They had worked for them for a while, and they were tired of being supers. They finally scrounged up enough money and help from some of the people that were already here. I think his sister. They were able to buy a 3-apartment, 3-family building. So they would get in there. They lived in one of the apartments. They rented them out, and they saved enough money. They bought another little house. It was in the Bronx. This is by Pelham Parkway.
Okay.
And they had, I don't know if they bought or they started a delicatessen, and they had some partners with them, and things were going. My mom was working it. My dad would be an electrician in the city, and he would go work after. I'm good for you guys.
I'm all right.
He would go after work and go check up and see what's going on at the delicatessen while my mom was working there. And it turns out the people that they were partners with were like put in like their dog food bill like on the register. Like they would take bills that people would pay and they would put it in there and they would pay their dog food bill. They would pay their rent with the register money. All kinds of shit. And they didn't get wise to this until like, you know, after they're in it for a while. I bought something else and that failed too. And they started a liquor store about 20 years ago. And it was my brother and my dad that started it.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, both of them. They opened it up and they were trying to make it work. And same kind of things were happening. Like they were hiring people, they were stealing money, or they, you know, stealing money by not working, right? They're just sitting around.
Time thieves.
You want it? I don't have it. See you later. Like, you know, not trying to sell people. Hiring shitheads. They had like a carpenter guy running it for a while. He like built the staircase in the store and he was working in the store at the same time.
That old man that would fall asleep?
No, some other fucking. That was some other guy.
That wasn't Alex, was it?
No. Some other fucking like Irish guy. Like he had no idea about wine and stuff. So I was still working at the cheese store, and then they had fired that guy. So I go, I'll work in the liquor store. I was 18 at the time.
That was a good in.
And I've been working there fucking since. That's been my job since then. But I was determined to not have this be one of those businesses that he talked about, like, oh, we fucked up, oh, we failed, oh, this thing didn't work, this thing failed. I was determined to not let this thing fucking fail.
And you've succeeded, my friend.
Luckily, from pandemic is really what we did our numbers.
Really?
Pre-pandemic, we were like just paying bills, not making anything. since pandemic kicked off, we like triple our numbers, and we've been holding on to that growth.
That's
which,
awesome.
For when everyone that sells me stuff that wants, needs to kiss my ass, tells me you're an anomaly. Huh? I'm like, you're just saying that because you want to sell me things. Don't fucking kiss my ass. I got whatever. Just sell me stuff. I go in my business, whatever. But I've heard this from a few different people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a technique that they're employing to get me to buy their shit. I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, if it's any consolation, you can look at it from any number of ways. But I think what makes you guys successful is that just like this podcast and just like making me feel at home when I walk in here, I feel like I've known you guys for a lot of years, which I have. But I felt that way from like the second time I walked in here, like from when I connected with you and from when I connected with you recently. And like, there's something about this neighborhood, but you guys especially, that people connect with, because that's the essence, I think, of hospitality. If we can boil it down to that, if we can distill it to that,
Right.
it's making people feel at home.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
that's what you guys
I
do.
want to be treated the same way.
Yeah.
Like if I walk into a small store, I want to be treated the same way. That's how I look at it. If I go into a Home Depot, not to keep plugging their fucking name, but I go into Home Depot, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Home Depot sucks.
Yeah.
You're on your fucking own. The Ace Hardware stores that used to exist, the hardware corner store that used to exist, you go, hey, it was actually a really nice one.
Mr. Ernie?
Yeah, Mr. Ernie. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Ernie, you got this stuff? I'm like, nah, I don't fucking got it. But you could try this, you could try that, you could try this. And he
Yeah.
would give you tips and try to figure things out. I know how to screw things in. When I was a kid, he would, show me a couple tips. Same thing when it comes to wine.
You go into a lot of places and it's like they're doing you the fucking favor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a few places
it's
like that over here.
It doesn't make sense. You're coming to my store. I'm gonna welcome you. I'm gonna, you're giving me business. It's like you're giving me your money.
But
I
also,
want to direct you in the
if
right way.
you're making so much business,
Yeah.
you don't have time to deal with like the fucking guy looking to get like, a small thing. And you're really busy dealing with big guys. You kind of come off that way. I'm not saying that's me. I treat everyone with the same respect, whether you buy a $5 nip or you buy a $500 bottle of whatever. But I can see how some guys are just tired of dealing with regular people. They want to just deal with the big fishes. And maybe you should step back. Maybe you should go do some other shit. Let some guy you pay minimum wage to deal with regular people.
Look, at the end of the day, you never know. Am I right? Because you could have somebody walk in that buys a nip for $5, and then the next day walks in and buys a bottle of Pappy. You never know.
We've literally had billionaires in here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have.
Literal
And
billionaires.
we brought them to you on our tour.
Yeah, those people, I'm talking separate from those guys. We had some other billionaires come in here. So I don't know how many billionaires are in the United States, but, 2-3 billionaires, pretty fucking good metrics, I think.
Listen,
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the 1%, right?
Let me get some of that money.
absolutely, and why not? I mean, you guys have the products for it. But guys, I had such a great time. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah,
me.
it was a good
It
time.
was a pleasure, man. This didn't even feel like 2 hours.
Jeez, it's been 2 hours
It's been
already.
2 fucking
It's
hours.
the longest one we've done. Done
Jim
3.
T-Bone
This is
didn't
the
last
longest
an hour.
one. We
You got tired of
drank,
Jim.
went through a
Sorry,
couple
Jim.
bottles.
Jim, don't listen to this
Ate a
podcast.
pizza. Jim, don't listen to this podcast. We're not fucking drinking this good wine with you. We're not eating this pizza with you.
Guys, it's been great. Thanks for the hospitality, really.
Anytime, Christian. Thanks for coming here and spending time with us.
Yeah, coming all the way up here.
Always a pleasure.